Yeah. So, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, you go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So no, yesterday I worked from home instead of I usually work in the office, but I work from home and it was okay. I managed to get through most of the day. I ended up going to sleep around like 5 probably though, and I slept till I don't know close to 8 or something like that. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, I still didn't feel great. And like, I felt like I could get through the day, but I had a meeting with my boss and I talked to him and I was like, dude, do you mind if I just do like a half day? And he told me to just get off. So, I pretty much just did that. And then I went to sleep at fucking, 10:30 or something. And dude, I slept all the way through 4. I didn't even feel that tired, but like, it just happened. Like, um,
Yeah, no,
so
it was
I don't
literally
know.
the same for me, bro. Monday I was fine. Tuesday I woke up with a scratchy throat,
Yeah.
and I thought it was because I left the fan on. I was like, okay, usually
Yeah.
I leave the fan
Yeah.
on, that happens or whatever. Uh, and then it just progressively got worse. I promised my friend I'll go to the range with him on Tuesday, so I went to the range. We stayed there for like an hour, and I was like, dude, I gotta go. He was like, yeah, you look like shit right now. So I went home. I went to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I took some medicine and everything, and I was out by like 9, 10 o'clock. I was done. And my wife was like, she was still teaching her classes. And I was like, usually when I text her, like I'm going to sleep, sometimes I'll still be up by the time she get home. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, you were dead. And I had like medicine bottles next to me and shit. And she's like, yeah, I can tell you're sick or whatever.
Yeah.
So then the next day, like you said, I woke up the next day. I was like, I called my boss. I'm like, I'm not coming in, dude. Like, I can't do it. He's like, yeah, just take the day off or whatever. And I slept, no bullshit, the entire fucking day. I don't know what the fuck
Yeah,
happened,
so
dude.
yeah, we reversed it. I worked yesterday and then I had that today where I ended up just sleeping the whole day, basically.
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
I stayed home today. Actually, I was gonna come in to work because I had a meeting too. I had my performance review. And he's like, dude, just come in on Friday. He's like, if you're feeling, he's like, I can tell by your voice you're not feeling too well. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can come in on Friday. So I am going in tomorrow because I feel a lot better today. But the first half of the day I was like crashing. Then like the second
Yeah.
half of the day I felt a lot better or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I don't know. Like you were saying before we started, like mucus was just coming out my nose, like white
Yeah.
mucus was coming out my nose and
Yep.
everything. I was like, what the
Yep.
fuck is this, dude?
Yeah. I don't know where it came from either. Like I went
Exactly, dude.
it's like I did go out over the weekend. I went played Magic on Friday and maybe somebody there had something that took a few days to happen. I don't know. And then we went to my mom's on Saturday, but I don't think she was sick, and my wife's not sick, so I didn't get it from her. So I don't really know where I got it from.
Exactly. My wife's not sick. We went, her cousin came for the weekend and we went to oh, did you get my pictures? I don't think I sent you the pictures. Or
No,
did Amanda show you the pictures?
you sent them to the other chat that I'm not in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Did Amanda show you, right?
Yeah, she showed me your picture. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
actually,
So
I
we
think you
went to
sent it.
the
No, you sent it to me. I think
I
actually,
did? Okay.
I think so.
Um but yeah, we went to medieval times and that was it. Like that's all we
Yeah,
did. I was inside the house the whole weekend except for the medieval times. They
yeah,
went out and they went to explore Dallas because her cousin never been to Dallas before.
yeah,
Um, but same thing. My wife is not sick at all, and she was everywhere. And I'm like, I just went to one spot and I'm dying.
yeah,
So I don't know
yeah,
if I got it from work or something like that. Maybe
yeah, yeah, bro. I think we're getting old, man. Like we're just weak now. We're just
it doesn't make
susceptible.
any sense though, man. Like,
I don't know, man. No, it came out of nowhere, dude. Because I worked the whole day Tuesday, and I was like, okay, it was okay. I was like, I was texting you, like we were texting each other that whole day,
yeah,
and then yeah, around 4, I just like all of a sudden I'm going like, the whole like every like few seconds, and Jerry's like sitting next to me, and she's like, "So you sound terrible, dude. Like you need to go home. Like get out of here." I was like, damn, you're right. Like, where did this come from? you know, but I don't
and
know. It just
did you take a
happened.
COVID test? Because
I
I took a
did.
COVID test.
I'm negative. I'm not.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think it's just a common cold, bro. I think we're just
I
old
think
as
so
fuck.
too. Yeah. No, I
Or
think
they
so too.
or the common cold got a buff over the fucking last 5 years, dude. What the fuck?
No, some federal agents came and fucking infected us somehow without us noticing or something. I don't know. You know.
Is Jet
Well,
sick? I want to know. I want to know if
I don't
Jet's sick.
know. I don't think so, but I haven't talked to him, so I think he's okay. But But yeah, so guys, welcome to the show. Bear with us this week. Me and Montrell are both sick, so we still want to put the show on though. There's a lot to talk about, so we're gonna try to get through it. But
Yeah, and
the
I missed
occasional
last
cough
week,
that
dude.
gets through the cough button, sorry about that in advance. um, but all right, well, I guess let me do the rigmarole and we can get into the show proper here. So hi everybody, this is the Players Take episode 346. I'm your host Justin D. Simone, joined as always by my co-host Montrell Rice. This is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so by sending us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right. Montreal, let's get into this show here. I guess we can just start with what we've been playing. So, I guess I'll start us off with we played a little League and Dota this weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty fun actually. Well, except for League, you got kind of pissed at League.
We got close.
Dota,
well, we got
Dota
off.
was fun.
Oh, we didn't get off. What am I saying? We stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning playing League. I don't know what's wrong with us, man. I don't know. But we played 2 games of Dota. I had fun. I think you had fun.
Yeah, I had fun. It was fun.
I think we got to start playing against people though.
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to get
scared though.
It's okay. Look, man, we'll just mute the chat. It's fine. Like, we're not gonna take it super seriously. Like, you're learning, I'm relearning. It's fine. So we'll figure it out. But but yeah, no, that was fun. I played Timbersaw one game, and then I played Void the second game. That was fun. But you were learning Drow. Like, how's Drow for you? You starting to get the hang of her?
Yeah, I gotta get a hang of her Q, like turning on and off her Q. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
weird how it operates, but I'm getting the hang of it now. So
yeah, it's a very old school design. I feel like because Warcraft had autocast abilities as well, and that's where that whole concept comes from. But it is one of those things like you really can't leave it on autocast because you're just gonna waste your mana.
exactly,
So it's
yeah.
like it is something you have to manage with her, which is it can be a little annoying, in the generally speaking. But I'd say the just for the most part, like if you think you're about to get in a fight with champions, just turn it on autocast, and
Yeah.
that's probably the best way to handle it until you get more used to her. So but no, it's good. It's good. We played some League too. The game does feel a little different, but I mean, it's still League, man. League is League. I don't know. It's
can't change that game.
no, I mean they refuse to change it. That's the reality of it. But we do have the card game coming out tomorrow, Montreal. I know you didn't seem to be interested in it, but has that changed at all?
Nah, I'm still not interested in it.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, it looks kind of cool. I will say
It's the actual physical card game, not a digital one, right?
yes, physical card game.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I did watch a playthrough of it of 4 people playing, and no, it seems pretty cool. I like what they did with the rules and stuff, but I'm not sure. I do wonder what it's gonna look like when the game starts to have more powerful cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it seemed very like low power from what I was watching right now. So we'll see in a couple of years what the game looks like. But no, it looks pretty cool. Certainly. I mean, just having League characters on trading cards is kind of interesting in and of itself. So I don't know. I might pick up a box just for that, just to like, I don't know, just have a box of have like fucking Jinx on a card or whoever the fuck, Caitlyn or some of my favorite characters. But yeah. All right. And then for me, I have continued to play Trails despite beating it last week. I decided to do New Game Plus, which we were talking about that over the weekend as well. And you said you were going in on the New Game Plus. I don't know if you actually started it or not.
No, I'm
but
still playing Ninja Gaiden. So
okay. Okay. Well, I'm doing it. I'm going for the platinum, and I'm playing on Nightmare with plus 50 enemy levels. And
how is it so far?
I am at the end of chapter 2. End of chapter 2. So I'm finishing up with the third region. I literally just beat the boss fight for that region before we got on here. So I'm making my way through the game. I will say the first two chapters, for the most part, there was really nothing difficult. The third chapter, though, you start running into some fights where you actually do need to start paying attention and using real strategy. And I had one that I was actually stuck on. It took me like 3 or 4 tries to beat it, and
Mm.
it was the Raven fight, the first one, where
Oh, okay.
you're fighting the 3 bosses with their 3 goons or whatever. So there's 6
Yeah.
total enemies, and man, that fight on Nightmare is a pain in the fucking ass because when the bosses go into rage mode, they just start one shotting your characters basically. And so you have to like whittle down the little guys and knock them out basically, and then you have to go one by one and start knocking out the bosses basically. But this is really difficult to do because these enemies only do 2 things. They either physical attack you or they buff their friends and heal them. So it's a very long battle of attrition that's like super annoying actually.
Is
um
that the fight? They don't revive him on that fight. They revive
they
him in the
do.
new
Yes,
one,
they
right?
do.
Oh, they
They do
do.
revive them.
Okay.
Yes, they revive them as well. So they'll like revive them, right? And then they'll do the heal and they'll have like 30k health again, and it's like, dude, what the fuck, man? So it is a little ridiculous, actually, but um I don't know. I managed to get through it though. I finally got I had a fight where I was able to whittle down the little guys without touching the bosses very much. And that worked finally. So I
Now,
got
do you
through it.
keep
But
your spells and your arts from
yeah, you
New Game
carry over
Plus? Okay.
everything. Basically, items, spells, levels, all of it is
Okay.
carried over. So you're basically starting from where you left off from a progression standpoint, and you're just kind of continuing on basically from levels 50 to 100. So yeah, it feels pretty cool actually because you kind of just feel like you're continuing the game, for the most part.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying it. So I will say I am a little wary about chapter 5 or chapter 4, final chapter, because there's a lot of difficult fights in there that I think are going to be
Yeah.
really difficult on Nightmare. So
I think that very last boss is going to be really difficult, actually.
yeah, I
Um,
agree. I think some of the tournament fights are actually going to be tough as well. Honestly, so we'll see how that goes, um, but yeah, so I'm having fun with it though. I don't know. I wasn't ready to leave this game behind yet. It was weird. I just when I beat it, I was like, I still kind of wanted to play some more, and I was like, you know what? When I was talking with you, I was like, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna go for the platinum. Fuck it, we're gonna try. So the biggest issue for me with the plat is the cooking. Because
oh yeah.
when I played through the first time, I didn't pay attention to cooking until I was in like over halfway through the game.
Hmm.
So I had not cooked anything from chapters like 1 and 2 basically for or sorry, the prologue in chapter 1. I had cooked very little from those 2 chapters except for some of the things that showed up later. Which there are a few of those, but yeah, I just had a lot of grinding to do. I did in chapter 1 where there's a lot of materials to drop there that I needed for like the vast majority of my cooking recipes to cook them. And the annoying part is you have to cook them at least twice because you need to cook the peculiar version of the dish and the main version of the dish. And it's just chance based what you cook. So, you may successfully cook it 3 times in a row and you need the peculiar one. And it's like you have to go
Oh,
grind for more
you.
fucking materials. So,
Oh,
um,
really? I don't
it
like
is a
that.
little annoying. Yeah.
I'll still go for it though, but I didn't know that.
Well, there's a
Luckily, I did.
spot. Yeah, go ahead.
Say what? No, you can go ahead.
There's a spot in chapter 3 where most of the harder materials to get drop all in one place. So I'm kind of when I get there, I'm gonna like grind the shit out of it basically and get them all completed. Um, and yeah, so there's a few other things I didn't get. Like there's some books I missed my first time around. Some of the liberal news issues I didn't get, and then I actually it's funny I got 211 chests in my first playthrough out of 212, and I was so fucking annoyed. And I was playing through the game, and I was, I've just been collecting all the chests, just to
Yeah.
find what that one was. And dude, the one I missed was in the prologue in the fucking tower, dude. And I was like, the trophy popped, and I was like, wait, really? I didn't get that chest? And I was like, I couldn't remember why, because it was one of the ones where you get ambushed. And I was like, did I skip this because I had the reporters with me and I was like, fuck this is too hard. And I said I'd come back later, and then I just never did. That must have been what happened, because yeah, I don't know why I had missed that chest, but I did. So I managed to get that one too. There were a couple enemies I had missed in chapters 1 and 2 as well, the shining palms, that I ended up getting the other day. So I'm most of my way there. The big ones I have left are beating the final boss at level 100, and then there is a boss fight that you can lose later in the game in the final chapter that you can lose, and the story will continue. You don't have to beat the fight, but for a trophy, you do have to beat the fight. So those are kind of the big hurdles I think that I really have left at this point.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, I'm getting there with it. But I mean, I'm still enjoying the game though, man. Like, it's a credit to the quality of this game that I'm not tired of playing it yet. um, it's I don't know. It's just, I mean, we'll talk about it later. Like, we're gonna do spoiler discussion about it later this episode. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I continue to marvel at like how good this game is. So um, outside of that, though, I did pick up a new game over the weekend called Necesse. It just came out. So that's Necesse. This is a game. Apparently, it's been in early access for like 6 years, I guess. And it just came out. I had never heard of it really before, like the last month or so. But it is a top-down pixel sprite-based survival game, I guess I'll call it. That's kind of in a people are calling it isometric Terraria. It's kind of the game people are really comparing it to. I have played Terraria, which is a 2D platformer survival game that I liked for a little while, but it just didn't work for me ultimately. This game is working a lot better for me, in the sense of like, I like it a lot so far. Basically, you're kind of just dumped into a world, like it's randomly generated, and you have like an axe and like a sword, and you just have to like start from there basically.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the whole point of the game is to kind of like, this is one of those games like there's no real goal per se. There kind of is, actually. There is like there's like an RPG side to this game on top of the survival elements. But basically, you're supposed to build shit, essentially. So you start chopping down trees, and then you start building. You build like a workbench, and then that unlocks your ability to build a whole bunch of other shit, which then you're kind of in the progression from there once you start doing that or whatever. And but this game has a little bit better combat than a lot of these games I've played in the past has, and I think it works so far for me. I'm enjoying that element of it, and there's kind of like a build crafting element to the combat side of the game, where you can be like you can be a melee character with a sword, or you can use like a bow and be ranged, or there's actually magic in the game as well, so you can cast spells and you can use like a wand or whatever. I haven't really gotten too much into that yet, but it's kind of cool though, because like when you're building, eventually you get to the point where you don't have any materials anymore, and then you kind of decide like, okay, I need to go out and like gather more materials, and you're looking for a specific type of material. So then you kind of just have to go out in the map and like adventure and explore. And the map is like covered in this, like, it's like a black fog of war basically.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's there, essentially. So you kind of just have to wander around and find things, and it's very rewarding actually, because there's like random chests out and about you can find, which will have like random items in them. Sometimes you'll get gear out of them, sometimes you'll just get materials and stuff. But um I'm really kind of enjoying that element of the game though, because there's like a whole underground, as well as an overworld. So you go underground, and there's like, there's spiders and zombies and all sorts of shit. But like, you can like mine underground, so you can get like iron and gold and copper and stuff, and you use that to craft or whatever, in the game as well. But the cool part about this game is it has this like NPC system where you'll build like a settlement flag basically, which will make your area that you're in a settlement, and then NPCs will start coming to you, and you can have them join your settlement for a certain amount of money. Basically, you could pay them to like join your settlement. But then at that point, they need like a bed, they need food, but they'll do things for you though as well. So once they're part of the settlement, you can like assign them to different types of tasks, and they will just
Okay.
automatically do that for you. Like they'll go
Okay.
chop down trees or, raise animals, or you can bring them with you to go adventuring with you, and they'll fight with you and stuff.
Oh
Things
shit.
like that
Okay.
as well. So it's very cool in that regard. So I haven't gotten very deep in it, but like eventually you'll have like a huge settlement that has like, 50 villagers in it, and they're all kind of doing their own thing or whatever. And that's kind of the eventual purpose. The end game of this game actually is there's kind of like I said, the RPG side of it. There's like a progression with the gear and stuff. Like there's no leveling, you don't level up or anything like that, but you do like, get more powerful by getting better gear. Or I actually beat my first boss when I was playing last time, and he dropped an item that increased my HP. So you can get more powerful in the game as well, and that's kind of how the progression goes. But the cool part about this game, though, is not just that NPC part. Is that this game is fully like co-op, so like other people can play with you. So they can like join your world basically, and you guys all play together in it. And you can have up to like over 100 people in it as well. So you can set up like a server basically,
Oh
and
shit.
just play with play it almost like a pseudo MMO where like a bunch of other random players are just wandering around doing stuff, you know. So this game is actually very robust for what it is. There's a lot to it, and I am very impressed with what I've played so far. I actually think this would be a really fun co-op game if you were interested in this kind of game. I know these kind of games are not like your cup of tea usually, but I will say they're not usually mine either. But the way this game is built is kind of hitting the right buttons for me, at least so far, to kind of get me into it. So and the other thing about the game, I think it's still on sale right now. I think this literally ends tomorrow. So by the time you guys hear this, I don't think it's going to be on sale anymore. But they did a 2 week release period where it was on sale for $7.50, like $7.50 on Steam. So the game is super cheap. Its normal price is going to be $15. So it's a really cheap game. For what it is, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, actually, and I'm very impressed with it so far. So yeah, very cool. Montreal, what about you? What have you been playing?
That's all you've been playing? Oh damn, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you did
that
say
is
that.
all I've been
Okay.
playing. Yeah.
I saw 4 and then you went through League and Dota really fast. um so I finished Ghost of Yotai. I think I might go back and platinum it. It's not a very hard platinum to get, so I don't really like to do all those stupid stuff. Only thing I might do stupid stuff
Yeah.
for is Trails. Like I might
Yeah.
do a lot of stupid stuff for that game, for the platinum, because I
Yeah.
really
A
like that
ghost,
game.
I think, is just like full completion of the game, right? Like basically
Yeah,
do
it's just
everything the game has
100%.
to offer. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you got to do
Yeah.
anything crazy or
Which
anything.
those are the types of platinums I generally like as well. Right.
Yeah, and I think I might go back. I think towards the end of the middle of the year next year, I think it's going to be a downtime for gaming in general, because I know in June we should be done with like Neo by June or whatever.
You say that. You say that, but
we
we'll
should.
see. We'll
I'm not
see. We'll
sure.
see.
We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, by June, I think I'm gonna go back and platinum some games like Ghost of Tsushima and everything like that, and get some platinums for it. But Ghost of Yotai is it's a decent game. I can definitely see. So there is a one thing I did like about the game. It's crazy. Um, I said this last week or week before last, actually, that they seem to forgot about Jin Sakai, and they actually didn't. They had a whole side mission for him, and I actually like the side mission, and I actually like how they acknowledged him, how they acknowledged his presence in Ghost of Tsushima and everything like that, and how it actually affected the world of Ghost of Yotai and her island and stuff like that.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, it's not really a big spoiler, but he's known as the birth of the shinobi. He's the first shinobi. So
Okay.
they
Gotcha.
they acknowledge it, because in this world, obviously, it's like 300, 400 years later, I
Yeah.
believe.
Right. He's
And
like a
in
legend
this,
at this point, right?
yeah, and he's actually not even like known. He's known amongst the shinobi, because you do fight against a clan called the Nine Tails clan. Funny enough, but you do fight against a clan called the Nine Tails
Yeah.
clan, and they're looking for this like sword or whatever the case may be or whatever. And yeah, it acknowledges him as the first shinobi, and he was like the father of shinobi, or the ninja or whatever the case may be. And his story is actually pretty fucking sad. Like, uh, and all that stuff like that. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's playing the game or anything like that. But I think if you're not going to play it right now, do you mind if I tell you, Justin, or do you want to experience it on your own?
I'll experience it on my own. I will
Okay,
play this game. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I will play
okay.
this game at some point.
I'd rather you
I've
experience it on your
heard
own too.
I've heard enough positive buzz that it's like the game is certainly worth playing. I need to play
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
it is.
I don't want to
Um,
pay 70 for it. So it may be a year from now, before I
Okay,
get
that's
around to it.
that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really cool that they acknowledged them and everything. I thought they were gonna go through the whole game without acknowledging them, but uh, yeah, that side mission it actually brought like a tear to my eye. I was just like, man, I love this. I love Jinsakai so much, and that they acknowledged him and his struggles and everything of that nature in that one mission uh was like really
Yeah.
cool, and it
Dude,
made me appreciate
yeah.
actually this game a lot more
Yeah.
when that mission happened. So yeah, what were you about
Yeah,
to say?
what's funny about this though? I've continued to hear, I continue to hear this like feedback about Jin that he's not a good character or he's not an interesting character or his story wasn't interesting in the first game, and I'm like, I don't like. I feel like I'm being gaslit by like the whole industry. Like, dude, this is not how you guys were talking about the first game. Like nobody talked about the first game like this. Like everybody loved Ghost of Tsushima, and it's like now that Yote exists, like we have to like bag that game for some reason. I don't understand
So I talked to my
what's
friend
going
about
on
it as
with that.
well.
I really don't understand it.
I talked to my other friend about it. He said he liked Yote better, but he
Yeah,
said I will not sit idly by and let people talk shit about Jinsakai because I like
yeah,
Jinsakai too. He likes in his version. He said I just like revenge stories more. Like that's what I
sure.
like.
Which
And I'm
that's
like
perfectly fine if that's your
that's
preference,
perfectly
right?
fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I told him I was like that's your preference. I was like I like both stories. I actually like the direction that this story turns into
yeah,
as well. It's kind of cliche depending on how you look at it.
hmm,
But it can go either way. But I like the way it turned out in the end as well for her.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and everything. So I think it's a really cool story. Um, it shows how much she had to sacrifice for the revenge aspect of her of trying to get revenge for her family and everything of that nature. And she was
yeah,
so focused on that and everything of that nature. So there's a lot of other stuff that comes into play. Um, at the end of the game or
hmm,
the last act of the game, later
yeah,
act of the game. But I feel like it all plays a part. You can also do the missions, like you can hunt the Yotai Six in any direct, except for Saito, who is the obviously the leader of the Yotai Six. But everybody else you can hunt in any way you want to. So I did choose to hunt the Kitsune, who's the leader of the Nine Tails, who's the ninja or the shinobi, and her story is like very interesting as well. Um, if you hunt that first, in my opinion, I think that's one of the more interesting stories.
yeah,
Um, because it Atsu has to really grapple with some things when she's like going through that mission. And
yeah,
other missions, she has to grapple through stuff as well. But that one was like that was really testing her resolve as does she really want revenge the way she wants the revenge or whatever. So the story is really good actually. I did have one problem with one character. He's like a side character or whatever. Um, and I actually cussed him out on Twitter. And I was like, oh man, fuck this guy. I forgot his name already though. But he's a side character, and you fight these duels or whatever under a tree, and you fight these duels, and once you fight all these duels, he comes out because he's like the one of the greatest samurai. He never lost a thing or whatever. And
yeah,
he's like, yeah, I want
yeah,
to fight you or whatever. So you get all his charms or whatever, and then once you get his charms, you fight him, and uh I don't know his Takizo Takiso. So yeah, once you fight on top of this mountain and stuff like that. It's a very interesting fight because he can one shot you, like even on medium or whatever. He
okay,
can one shot you in that fight. He can. So you really have to learn how to parry. You have to learn how to dodge and everything like that, and punish it and everything of that nature. So, and like I said, he's a side boss, so you can come back to him like once you almost finish everything, which I think was his intention to be finished through everything. But I fought him like three of the Yotai already, or two of the Yotai, and I went to fight him or whatever. And yeah, and he was beating my ass, but I beat him though or whatever. It took me like 2 hours to beat him, but I beat him. But I cussed him out on Twitter. I was like, man, fuck Takizo or whatever. And then the voice actor actually liked my tweet and retweeted it. And I thought that was funny as fuck.
Nice. That's sick.
But yeah, the only thing I had, the one major issue I have with this game is the parry windows. I don't know if they changed the parry windows from Ghost of Tsushima, but it's very, very like not consistent. And I thought I was the only one complaining about it, but a lot of other people complaining about it as well. It's a very inconsistent parry window to the point where I had a difficulty on hard, but then I went to the accessibility mode and I turned the parry window down to medium because it was just so like random. I don't know how to explain it without you playing it yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe I did not play Ghost of Tsushima before I played this, so this was like a fresh like me playing the game or whatever. And yeah, the parry windows just seemed fucking off, dude. I was just like, dude, I was getting tagged a lot and everything like that. So I had to turn it down. And once I turned it down, I felt a lot better or whatever about playing the game. And that doesn't affect your trophies or anything like that. There are no difficulty trophies within this game, so you can play it on easy and get everything. Or if you guys want to,
I don't love difficulty trophies, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, I thought the game was really good. Yeah, would I pay $70 for it? Maybe, maybe not. Depending on how you look at it. I would say this is a Black Friday deal for sure. If you can get cheaper on Black Friday, get it cheaper on Black Friday for sure.
Yeah.
I also think you should play Ghost of Tsushima first, even though this game has nothing to do with Ghost of Tsushima at all. I still think you should play Ghost of Tsushima first, just to appreciate where the world is at now, if that makes any sense. There aren't a lot of things that influence it, but you see a lot of like Jin Sakai style of fighting because she has her own style of fighting, and you see you see Jin Sakai style of fighting, all four of his styles in the enemies that you fight. And I think that's really cool. Like I'm like, man, I remember doing that move. And the character's doing the move on you or whatever. So I just think that's really cool how they did that. Where she doesn't really have the same style. Her style is more self-learned, everything like that. So I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool game. Yeah, I give it like an 8.59. It's a really cool thing, or whatever the case may be. I really like Atsu as a character. I still like Jin Sakai more, but I do appreciate Atsu as well in her own journey. I've been playing Battlefield 6. Not too much to say about that. Oh, if you guys want to, if me, you, and Jet want to, the Battle Royale dropped today. And it's free to play.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would actually like
free,
to
right?
play that.
You can play it for
it's
free.
Yeah, it's free to play. So you can play it for free. So I actually like y'all to play that because it is a more grounded, Battle Royale. There are no like,
it's in the PUBG realm, maybe.
Yeah, the only thing that you can probably do is I think you can spawn a tank, or you can go to these garages and you can break them open and get a tank or whatever, and that's about it.
Well, what's the map like? Is the map?
The map is LA. It's LA. It's a big version of LA or a small version of LA.
Okay.
And then and it's like cool, it's a ring of fire. So once you get outside the ring, you're literally on fire. So you have to run inside the ring or whatever.
Yeah.
And it really does promote squad diversity. So you will need like an engineer to take out tanks, and you will need like maybe a recon person to fly their drones over stuff to see if there are any UAVs or anything in the area. So, and you will need a medic, to heal people, and then you will need a assault person to get to higher ground because he can put ladders down and stuff like that to get higher ground. So, I think it's going to be a really fun game to play. It's four squads. I think it's quads. I don't know if they have a trios, but I know they have quads for sure. And I think this will be a cool game to play.
Maybe I might check it out. I'm looking at the map. That's why I was laughing, because like you've been to LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks nothing like LA. Like there's too much green on the map. Uh, you know, all of this would be streets with buildings, if it was really LA. But no, I appreciate the diversity, because if it was really LA, it would be very boring actually to play in as a map. So
Yeah.
no, it looks pretty cool actually. There's like a golf course in there. That's pretty sick. I like that. That's interesting. So no, that might be worth checking out. That'll be cool.
Or it might not be LA, it might be California, but because they were playing a California song, so like it's
Sure.
supposed to be some
Yeah.
variation of
No,
California.
it looks like LA from like a geographical standpoint. Because it's got the flatlands, and then on the eastern side of the map, it does kind of look a little bit more mountainous. So
Yeah, and they got the palm trees and stuff like that. So I just thought it was, uh, thought it was a really cool. I think it's a cool map. And I think it's a cool game that we can probably get into or whatever. And then lastly, I've been playing Ninja Gaiden 4. Probably one of the hardest games I played in the last like 5 to 10 years, bro. Not even lying. This game's harder than Sekiro. Like this game's hard as fuck.
holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, bro. Um, so some of it is because of bad design, and then some of it is because the game's actually just fucking hard. Um, Platinum and Team Ninja obviously collaborate on this. Um, I do have a lot of gripes with the game. Namely, the one thing I don't like is I can't cancel uh my attack strings with my guard. So you'll have to wait to. Granted, your attack strings are very fast, so your attack animations are very fast, but you can't cancel it out. You can't cancel out of it like you can like Bayonetta or something like that.
Okay.
So it leads to like very weird predicaments where you're in an attack string, and then also another thing is from Platinum's design, uh, and Devil May Cry's design as well. Enemies don't attack off screen, where that thing is negated in all Ninja Gaiden games, all the new Ninja Gaiden game, 3D Ninja Gaiden games. They can attack you off screen, and they will attack you off screen. And that's just a Ninja Gaiden thing. And this game does not hold back. Uh,
Yeah.
you will get attacked off screen. But so it leads to a lot of frustration because if you're playing on hard mode, which I am playing, and then once you beat hard mode, you get Master Ninja mode. Uh,
Okay.
uh, which can like you can get two shot in Master Ninja mode, or sometimes one
Yeah.
shotted by enemies
Yeah.
in Master Ninja mode. But the game is fucking hard, dude. But it's very rewarding. The game's very fast. It's very flashy. Sometimes, like I said, it kind of conflicts with itself because the game like wants you to be flashy like a platinum game, but then it also wants you to be very technical like a Ninja Gaiden game. So
Hmm.
sometimes I don't. I've just like kind of went towards the more technical side, and then once I whittled down the enemies, then I get a little bit more flashy or whatever
Yeah.
with my attacks. The one thing I think the game absolutely fails on are bosses, particularly the big bosses. Uh, they're someone called it Sekiro slop, and I kind of agree. It is Sekiro slop. Uh,
Yeah.
because you have three ways of defense. You have your dodge, your perfect block, and then your perfect parry. So parry is how you're not thinking like a guard button. That's not a parry. Your parry is when you attack the same time the enemy attacks. And you have to be
Okay.
very precise with it. It's very
Yeah.
fucking hard to do a parry, in my opinion. The perfect block is what you would think a parry is. So you guard at the same time you're about to get hit. Otherwise, you just do regular guard. You can block attacks, and you can upgrade your block all the way up to 8 strings. So you can get hit 8 times before your guard blocks. I have mine upgraded all the way to 8 times before your guard gets broken or whatever. And then you have your dodge or whatever. So you hold the guard button, then you move to the left or right or back and forth, and then do a dodge. And if you dodge within that window, you get a perfect dodge, like Bayonetta. You go into like a little slow mo, like
Hmm.
almost like a witch time, akin to like near or whatever the case may be. The problem is the dodge in near is very like forgiving. This one's not. Like you have to do a perfect dodge for sure. Which I think they should be more lenient on it. Because enemies will attack you. I don't know if they do it on purpose, but enemies will attack you in your negative frames. See, now I'm getting to fighting game terms now because uh, enemy will like because negative frames are where you can't really do nothing after you done an attack or something like that, and you're at negative frames, and enemies will attack you legitimately at like the pinpoint time you're in negative frames. And I don't know if it's like they're reading your inputs or whatever. But this is just regular enemies. Even bosses sometimes would do it. So
Mhm.
you have to really play around because some enemies have one frame attacks. Like this fish monster, this shark monster that I fucking hate. And the reason I fucking hate this monster because you chase this motherfucker around for 3 chapters and then you fight him. And he's a fucking bitch to fight. And so or 2 chapters rather. There's long ass chapters though. And he does like a backflip or whatever. But I swear to God, it's like 1 frame. It's a 1 frame backflip or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so like they're like you get punished. Like all these bosses have desperation moves, and I don't know if you know what desperation moves are. I call them that from Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts the bosses in there have desperation moves. Where if you're like comboing the bosses, or particularly one of the organization 13 members like really bad, they have something called a desperation move where they just instantly get out of it and hit you. So you have to kind of atone for that when you're doing your combos because they have
Mhm.
these desperation moves that automatically hit you, and you can dodge them, but you have to be like aware that they're coming or whatever.
Yeah.
And these bosses have the same thing, which are I call them desperation moves, which are like 1 frame attacks that really punish the player for like beating the boss's ass, which is kind of bullshit. I hate those type of things or whatever. But a lot of the bosses, particularly the big monster bosses, have like where you have to just be calm and you have to like perfect dodge or perfect parry them, and you can't really combo them. You punish them by doing the perfect stuff and then following up with that or whatever the case may be, which I don't like that design. If I wanted to play Sekiro, I'll play Sekiro. If I wanted to play Nier or Neo, I'll play Neo. I'm playing Ninja Gaiden. Like that's never really
Yeah.
been a Ninja Gaiden thing or whatever. If that makes any sense. So the human bosses though, those are more tit for tat. You do some combos, you can stun lock them and stuff like that, and then they break out of it, and then you can go tit for tat with them. It feels really funny. You're playing like the human characters, but those you only get like maybe 3 human character bosses out of all the boss fights or whatever. So or 4 maybe. And I so yeah, like so the other thing I don't like about this game, or that I do like about this game, is I love the difficulty. I love the combo. I love Yakumo as a character. This game is essentially I don't know if you remember when DMC4 came out and how many people fucking hated Nero.
Yeah.
This is the same thing that's going on with Ninja Gaiden, right? You play as Yakumo, who's like a member of the Black Raven clan or whatever, and you see Hayabusa like here and there or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But he's like
Yeah.
he is like this legendary ninja or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
right? And then you
Yeah.
get to play as Hayabusa later on, and then you can go back and you fight the bosses that you fought as Yakumo. So like it is like DMC4 in that aspect with the story. I mean, so I think my gripe with the game is not necessarily with the game, it's with the community. There are legitimate issues with this game uh, that needs to be addressed and needs to be patched. Like there are some collision issues, there are some parry windows that need to be fixed, there are some hit boxes that need to be fixed. There was one hitbox that I did record that I was like literally like 5 feet away from the enemy and I got hit, and I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, how am I
Yeah.
supposed to play this or whatever?
Yeah.
Um, but like I've learned to navigate through those things and everything. And the game is really difficult in the first couple stages because you don't have a lot of CC or crowd control moves. Then once you start getting a lot of crowd control moves, then you can start actually playing the game like the way you want to play it. So it is difficult the first half of the or the first 2 or 3 chapters is very difficult. If you're playing on hard mode, then once you get past that, you start to get into a rhythm of the game or whatever. That's my issue with the community of Ninja Gaiden. I never knew Ninja Gaiden community to be so fucking whiny and bitchy. It's like it's Devil May Cry all over again. The community is a bunch of bitches, in my opinion, bro. They are so up Ninja Gaiden Black's dick. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black dick is so crazy. Like they keep riding that shit's dick. Like, oh my god, this isn't Ninja Gaiden 2. Like, we get it. You love Ninja Gaiden 2. Everybody loves Ninja Gaiden 2. We consider that like one of the greatest Ninja Gaiden games ever. We understand that. And then Black took it up a notch when Ninja Gaiden 2 Black came out. So we understand it, y'all. But like, let that shit go. This game is better than Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, in my opinion. Uh, people are upset that it's not as technical as Ninja Gaiden 2, because it's a different creator. Like it is a platinum game. I will say that
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah.
Team Ninja game. It's a platinum game, but it is still a Ninja Gaiden game. They still kept the fundamentals of Ninja Gaiden, but they added their own flair to it. So people are upset about that. Um, I also saw the reviewers like shitting on the game or whatever. I honestly think the reviewers is bad at the game, in my opinion. Uh, I think the game doesn't really. If you played it on medium, you're not going to get much out of this game, or normal difficulty. You have to play it on hard mode, in my opinion. Um, and that's just not a me thing. That's just like to get the full aspect and understand the game and how the game wants you to play, or how the game is teaching you how to play and everything like that. You have to play these games multiple times. You have to play these games on hard mode or
Yeah.
the harder difficulties or whatever. And I I I don't think like I watched kind of funnies like review on this, and it really kind of pissed me off, which is like I don't even know why. I was like, I don't even watch these guys, but like they were saying like it's like slop, and they're like, oh, it's like going to a fast food restaurant, but it's the good fast food. I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, I just think people hate action games, and then people are like, oh, the story was trash, and I'm like, okay, when has a Ninja Gaiden game story ever been good? Like, let's be honest. None of the Ninja Gaiden games stories were good. Like, none of them were groundbreaking. None of them were like pushing the envelope. And I don't know how you feel about it, but like, I don't know, because for my action game, I don't need it to be Ghost of Yotai. I don't need it to be God of War. Like, I just don't need it to be that. I don't need,
Yeah.
when I say God of War, I mean 2018. I don't need to be 2018 God of War. Like,
Yeah.
to a certain extent, even God of War, the old one, the story wasn't like the most crazy, but yeah, Kratos was fucking crazy though in the older God of War games or whatever. And I mean, it had a decent story or whatever, but it wasn't like the best story ever or whatever. And like even Devil May Cry, like when
Yeah.
people compare it to the anime and everything, like, oh, the story's trash. I'm like, Devil May Cry story has never been like pinnacle of fucking, or Shakespeare. Like it has never been
Right.
Shakespearean or whatever. So when people are talking about the story, they grade it down like 2 or 3 notches because the story was trash. And I'm like, the story is trash. The voice acting is kind of trash. Like, I understand that. The English voice acting is kind of trash, rather. I understand that. But Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden games have never been like the pinnacle of story. It's always been action focused first. Like you're going to get a quality action game. So I'm like, how did they review Bayonetta? Because Bayonetta's story is not that good. Like how did
Yeah.
they review fucking like back in the day? How did they, and you know what? I wasn't paying attention to reviews back in the day. Like when Devil May Cry 3 came out and 2 and 1 and stuff like that. I wasn't really paying attention to like the reviews as far as like story wise. I just went to a game shop, a Funko Land or a GameStop or whatever, or EB Games, and I just bought the game because the cover looked cool or whatever, case may be. And um, I feel the same way about this game. Like I feel like we need to understand what the intended focus of the games are. Like if we know the game's focus like isn't story, then we can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 because the story's trash, but the combat's really fucking good. Everyone says that the combat's really fucking good, but the story's trash. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5 or a 7. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that doesn't make any sense. Battlefield's story is not good, but everyone gave that game a fucking 9. Like, are we serious? That game's campaign is not that good. Like,
Yeah.
we gave it a
Yeah.
fucking
I
9.
mean, I'm kind of with you, right? Like I think it depends on the game, right? What the game is. Like Ninja Gaiden is a, from for the most part like character action game in the same vein as like a Devil May Cry or something, and these games aren't they've never been known for their stories. So I don't necessarily think like I would, if I was reviewing them, I think the story would be a cherry on top type of thing. I'm not going to take points away if the story is total trash, but if it
Yeah.
ends up being really good, I would probably add a little bit to the score for that.
Yeah,
And
which is
maybe
why I
that's,
think God of War
I
gets
don't know.
away with it because the story was in the old God of War games. The story was pretty decent.
It got
On top of it.
better. I think it got better in retrospect. Those stories got better in retrospect with 2018.
Okay.
Like I think 2018 gave them some gravitas that they didn't have on their own.
Okay.
On their own they were kind of meme like. I feel like a little bit, And in retrospect, though, with Kratos, like having a child and the whole journey he took with Atreus in the first game, like, or in 2018, I think those stories became better by association of that. I mean, I know David Jaffe would probably disagree with this because he
Yeah.
doesn't like where the story went with the new games, but I don't think the story in the old games was good on its own. Like, if you just put those games in front of somebody and told them to play them, like, they're not gonna come talk to you about the storyline. They're gonna talk to you
Okay.
about the fucking gameplay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
I
put them
mean,
in a similar vein. So
okay. I mean, and you're some. I mean, I played the trilogy, but you're like a connoisseur in the God of War trilogy. So, um,
which is funny because I haven't played them in fucking like a decade plus probably. I need, man. I've been wanting to. It's just they're not available on PS5. All of them.
they're not. Oh shit.
No, like you can't fucking play them. Like I think you have to like stream 2 or some fucking nonsense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they
Like
didn't do a remaster of them.
they re-released 3 recently. I don't even think one's available actually, like natively either. So that's the issue. It's like I would play these games again because man, yeah, no, the original God of War trilogy is so good, dude. Like, but no, I mean with Ninja Gaiden though, I'm with you though. Like I think if you're overly making you're lowering your score because of the story, I think you're in the wrong reviewing the wrong game.
Yeah.
Like if I was reviewing a Xenoblade game, yeah, the story matters a lot to
Yeah.
that game.
Exactly.
Historically, because I think that's another element to it as well. Is if this was a brand new franchise, maybe I would approach it differently. But this is a series historically where story is completely irrelevant, really, to the enjoyment of the game. You know, so you kind of need to take that into account when you're reviewing it. I feel like to some degree, but I don't know,
Because
maybe not. Maybe
I can
people
tell
would
you right
disagree with
now,
that.
Justin,
But
I can't remember the story in Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, or 3. I was just playing and I was beating shit up. I was like,
yeah,
let's go. Like I because it's so nonsensical or whatever. Like, oh, the fiends have returned. Like that's pretty much the entire story of Ninja Gaiden. The fiends have returned. Hayabusa, you're a part of the dragon lineage clan. You're a part of the divine dragon clan, and you guys are meant to protect it. Do your thing. And he's the fucking super ninja, and he's fucking killing shit, and that's what he does, and that's what we like Hayabusa for. And I don't understand. So, but anyway,
yeah,
uh, I think I think uh, I'm going to take a shot at Nier. I think Nier puts everybody's expectations up like way up here as far as story and
yeah.
character action
That's
game.
true.
It's like
That's true.
not every game is Nier, and I need everyone to like
Well,
not
I
get off
don't even
Nier's
look at
nuts.
Nier, dude. Maybe this is wrong, but I don't even really look at Nier as a character action game in the same way. It's it's just its own thing, Like I don't know. Like I look at it separate from any of these other games, Like
I still consider it a character action game, but it does have elements of other games into it, and it
because
has
there's
a great
RPG
story.
elements in the game as well,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
character action games typically do not have, So
Yeah, and I agree. That's why I still consider it a character action game, but it does have like RPG elements. It has a really good story, it has side quests and all this other stuff like that. It's not level
yeah,
based or chapter based. That's a really big character action thing where it's just like levels and chapters and stuff like that. And you don't have to beat it on the hardest difficulty to get the most out of the near or whatever the case may be. So, um, even though it's meant to be replayed, you're replaying it for story reasons more so than difficulty reasons, if that makes any sense. So, like
yeah,
I said, Nier is a baby, is a really different thing, and I didn't see anyone compared to that, but I think that's where this. Also, I think like like Ghost of Yotai, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War 2018, put this like I don't want to say Western spinning, but they put good action. And when I say good action, I mean it's like their version of action, compared to like what like the character action version of stuff is, right? And it's not very stylish. It's more so grounded and everything of that nature. Even like Spider Man, it's like a really grounded combat, and everything of that
yeah,
nature.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so I don't know. I think the game's really good. I think I'm giving it like a 8 right now. I gotta play through Master ninja difficulty, which is probably going to fucking give me a heart attack, but whatever. Um, I have a lot more moves at my disposal though when I play it through master rank or master ninja mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the news then. We got a decent amount of news stories to go through this week, and first one is I don't know if how exciting this is, but I think this is certainly something that's been rumored. Is Microsoft and Halo Studios revealed Halo Campaign Evolved, which is going to be a remake. It looks pretty close to a ground up remake of the first game. Combat Evolved. It is just the campaign though. There's going to be no multiplayer component beyond co-op. There will be up to 4-player co-op in the campaign, but there will be no competitive multiplayer element. So no Blood Gulch or any of your favorite Halo maps to play in a multiplayer setting. I mean, Montreal, did you take a look at this? Did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah, no, I wasn't really too impressed, to be honest with you. It looks like I like this word. I like the slop word. It looks like Unreal Engine 5 slop. And I'm just like, all right, man, I guess we're doing this again. This is like
Yeah,
the third time they've remade the Halo campaign.
yeah.
Um,
Well, this is like a
so
real remake though. The other two were kind of like
yeah, I just don't care
remasters,
anymore. How
upres.
many times am I going to rediscover the flood? I don't
Yeah.
fucking care anymore. I'm sorry. And this is just me being 36. Now, for 60-year-olds, for 60-year-olds, go ahead, play it. I don't fucking care. The first time you saw Master Chief was on fucking Fortnite
Yeah.
anyway, so I don't
Yeah.
care. Whatever.
You don't even know who Master Chief is.
Yeah, you don't even know who
Yeah.
Master Chief is.
Yeah.
Also, I'm probably just really jaded because the same time this was announced, uh, ICE or the Department of Homeland Security or ICE uh, had an ad with like the actual Halo,
Oh
and they
God.
said,
Oh my
"Join us to
God.
defeat the flood." And everybody
Jesus
was like,
fucking Christ, dude.
"So illegal immigrants are fucking the flood now? They're aliens from outer space." And it was
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it was a whole thing. Microsoft didn't really back. Microsoft was like, "Whatever, we're not against it. We're not for it." And I'm like, "Okay, Microsoft."
Yeah. Whatever, dude.
Uh, yeah, and the two original Halo developers came out and was like they were against it, but then Marty O'Donnell was like, "Yeah, I'll join the fight," and I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like the composer of the fucking Halo
Yeah.
fucking music was like, "Yeah, I'll join the fight," and
Well,
I'm like, "Oh
dude,
my."
he's trying to get into office, or he tried. I don't know if he ever did or
He
not.
did?
Like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah, he was trying to run for office after he left Bungie or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm at a
Yeah.
very difficult spot right now with Halo. Like I'm at a very
Yeah.
conflicting point with it.
Well, okay, so I don't
Video game
have.
wise though,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know how I feel about it. I also heard a rumor that they're doing 2 and 3, the campaign only, as well. They're trying to remake those as well. So I don't know how I feel about it. Everybody was bitching about Sprint being in the game and everything like that because he did Sprint in the game. And I know how Halo fans are with Sprint. Oh my god, it's the end of fucking Halo when someone fucking runs or whatever. So I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Like I don't care. I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I just don't care. I played Halo already. I have the original Halo. I can always turn on my Xbox, my original Xbox, and play Halo if I want to. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I
How do you feel
haven't.
about it?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played Halo 1 since it was on the original Xbox. So I am a little bit more excited about this, I guess. As a result, I love the idea of online co-op with this game, which is like super exciting. But at the same time, I do. I kind of I do agree with you in some ways as well though, like all this non-gaming stuff coming around is just like, oh god. And to be honest, watching the trailer, like the game doesn't really look super great, I guess, as I'll say. Like the way the enemies are moving and stuff, like it looks a little rough. I mean, obviously, this is not release footage.
Yeah.
This is just a trailer they put together, but so I'm sure the game will look better when it's closer to actually launching. But I don't know. I mean, dude, if Microsoft can't do this right, though, they can't do anything right at this point. Like,
Well,
I just
I think this is a bigger conversation of Microsoft in general, which I kind of wanted to send articles, but I forgot. I was like really sick. But like even the CEO, I can't remember his name for some reason. CEO of Microsoft, the president of Microsoft,
Satya
uh,
Nadella, yeah,
yeah, Satya Nadella. Um, they don't understand what Xbox is. He came out and said Xbox competition is not other consoles. Uh its competition is like pretty much apps,
TikTok and yeah, he said like
TikTok and stuff like
TikTok
that.
and yeah, YouTube Shorts and
and and then they said that the next console is going to be pretty much a glorified Steam box. It's gonna be a PC. It's gonna be with Windows on it and everything of that nature. And people are like, oh, you can play all console games on it and everything. And it's like, I mean, obviously you can play like Steam on it and stuff like that. That's what the next console is gonna be, the next premium console. And it's like Microsoft really doesn't understand like their division at all. Like, I don't think anybody at Xbox understands what the fuck is going on over there,
yeah,
like at all.
right,
Um,
right,
and people are saying like they're trying to make Xbox Windows without the stench of Windows, and I agree with that. I think that's what they're trying to do, and um, like the way they're treating the Halo IP is just kind of showing me that like they don't really care, or they don't. They're just trying to submit their foot in the living room. They're really trying to hammer home the living room, or not even the living room anymore. They're trying to compete with TikTok and all this other stuff like that. And I'm like, that's
yeah,
not your competition. Like, I I don't I really want to understand like boomers mindset when it comes to like video games and TikTok and all the other shit like that. Because like we're the in between generation. So like we're seeing the best or I'm gonna say best of both worlds. We're seeing both worlds from both angles, right? Because we're old enough to understand, but we're young enough to understand as well. And uh it's just a weird dichotomy being on like seeing like how the younger generation, like I'm not trying to be like that guy, but like they really don't appreciate games the way we appreciate games, right? So we see the younger generation how they treat video games and everything like that nature, and then we see how the older generation treats video games, and then it's like we're stuck in the middle, and we're just like none of you guys understand video games. It's really
yeah,
upsetting me. Like, and is it really going to take for them to die out before we get a millennial in there and be like, this is what actually video games represent to us, and it's going to be too late by that time that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It's just that's just how I feel. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm kind of tired of talking about Microsoft, bro. I really am. Like, I just they're very clearly on their way out of hardware, and I think it's whatever they're talking about, whatever the CEO's saying, whatever they do or don't understand about their own fucking brand, I don't think it matters anymore. Like, it's just they're kind of done. Like, they're gonna be a third party publisher. Like, I just think that's where we're going, and it's I don't know. Like, I like I don't know how fast it's gonna happen, but it's like we were talking about the last week. The or yeah, you weren't on last week, but I was talking about the Sarah Bond talking about the the next console and how it's gonna be like a premium priced PC hybrid device, and it's like I was kind of questioning like what is even the point of this, like because like I think some people are positioning this as like this is like a way for Xbox gamers to continue, but like it's like a quote off ramp for them to get off of Xbox hardware eventually. Um, but it's like even if that's the way they think of it internally, like you're really gonna say that like a $1,000+ device is gonna be appealing to people who are used to paying 500 or less for their device? It's like that doesn't really jive. There's not like it doesn't really make any sense. So I don't really know. I don't know, dude. I don't know what they're doing. I think Halo. We'll see how it does. I'm curious about what it's going to be priced because, frankly, I'm not going to pay $70 for this. If it's just a campaign, I think that's you know, they're probably going to price it there though. I would assume based on where they priced the gear, Gears Reloaded or whatever the fuck they called it, which literally they had done nothing to. It's just a port of the fucking game. Basically, they charge 50 for that, so I don't think they would charge 50 for this, which is like something they actually put work and effort into. So I'm assuming this is going to be 70 when it comes out, at least maybe 80. Knowing Xbox what they've been trying lately. So I don't know. We'll see. It is supposedly coming next year as well, so I don't think we have an exact date or anything like that, but it should be coming in 2026. So, all right. Well, let's move on to our next story. This one's fun. I'm sure we're gonna enjoy talking about this one. So Crafton, who is the publisher and owner of PUBG and Hi-Fi Rush, the Hi-Fi Rush studio, they announced recently that they are going to be an AI first company. So this is what they said, quote, this is a complete reorganization of the company's operational development system, placing AI at the center of problem solving. The end goal of which is fostering change in individuals and organizations, increasing company-wide productivity, and accelerating mid to long-term corporate value growth. End quote. So yeah, Montreal, they're putting AI at the center of their, I guess, creative focus going forward. I did want to juxtapose this though with Take Two CEO Strauss Zelnick talking on CNBC the other day. They actually asked him about AI as well, and this is what he had to say. So this will be a longer quote. So quote, let's say there were no constraints on AI. Could we push a button tomorrow and create an equivalent to Grand Theft Auto in the marketing plan? And here it is. The answer is no. A, you can't do that yet. And B, I am of the view that you wouldn't end up with anything very good. You'd end up with something pretty derivative. Whether people in Silicon Valley like to hear this or not, AI is big data sets with lots of compute attached to a large language model. So what are data sets by definition? They're backward looking. Anything that
Ooh.
involves backward looking data compute and LLMs, AI is really good for, and that it applies to lots of things that we do at Take Two. Anything that isn't attached to that, it's going to be really, really bad at. There's no creativity that can exist by definition in any AI model because it is data driven. End quote. And then
Damn.
he said one more thing. The team's creativity is extraordinary in what Rockstar Games tries to do, and so far has done over and over again, is create something that approaches perfection. End quote. So, two different viewpoints here. I think Strauss Zelnick is somebody we should certainly take very seriously, though, when he talks about things like this. He is a high power CEO in the video game space. And as much as he doesn't play games, I actually do think he understands games to a degree that most
Yeah.
other CEOs in the space do not.
Well, I think he
And
understands
yeah,
AI a lot better than
very
not
much
just.
so. He's saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, dude. Like, um, I think he understands AI from a very interesting, even the creative aspect of AI. I think it is very useful in like database stuff or whatever, right? Like my company created AI for our database or whatever, and it's very useful for that. But trying to use it for anything outside of that to replace like, sorry, to replace like kind of like humans or something like that, the creativity of a
Yeah,
human
yeah,
or the mindset or work of a human or whatever.
yeah.
Because let's face it, each job that we do does require some type of like creativity, whether
Right.
it be to create a new process, to think outside the box on an existing process or
Yep.
something of that nature. Someone
Yep.
always has to come forward and like move it forward. The process can always be better, in my opinion, or some things
Right.
need to be taken back. And for him to say like AI looks at the past and just repeats, basically saying it repeats the past maybe a little bit better or cleans it up a little bit, but it's still repeating the past. It's backwards looking,
Yep.
and I think that's very very cool. If you look at like AI art and everything of that nature, it's nothing but like replications of other people's art,
Mhm. Yeah.
and Yeah, even if they were to create the best Grand Theft Auto game, like the most perfect AI, create Grand Theft Auto like 6 or whatever or 7 or whatever, it would probably just be another version of 6 or 5 or 4 or whatever the
Or
case may be because
combination
they
of all the ones that have existed before in some way. Yeah,
exactly
right,
because there isn't any human presence to like move what's forward in thinking
right,
in terms of that, like
right.
what
It's not capable
players
of like
want.
creating something new, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's basing it off something that exists previously, which you could argue that a lot of people do that as well in their creative process, but there is an ingenuity element that AI can't really replicate. And I think there's a lot of fear mongering with AI right now, and it's happened at my job. I'm sure there's been some people at your job as well, where there's some people, some older guys that are like really concerned about AI, and whatnot. And I think their concerns are a little like they're talking about it like Skynet level type shit, and I'm like, that's not what these things are. They're not like I know we use the word AI, like we're calling it artificial intelligence. That's not what it is though. Like it isn't intelligent in that way. It is a like it's literally what he said. They're data sets combined with large language models that they're not thinking for themselves. They're coming up with these answers based on things that have already happened, basically.
Yeah, and I think
Um
that's what a lot of people, including like I would also say like the creators themselves, kind of
yeah.
look at it as or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, like it can get very scary in terms of what it can do and what it can say. But like I think there
But they're
is
not
some validity.
sentient. I guess that's the thing I need like that people need to understand is like these things aren't sentient,
They aren't. They
you
aren't.
know?
But the problem is, I think
Like yeah.
when you start giving like because there was an article, right, and I think I said it 2 weeks ago or whatever, but there was an article where they asked the army, like one of the top generals of the army or whatever, or maybe me, you were just talking in general,
Yeah.
were they like, do you use Chat GPT or like AI for like your strategic needs? And they're like, yeah, we do. We ask it questions and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's fucking crazy. In my opinion,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so like when you talk about when people think about it in that aspect or whatever, like now maybe it is just grabbing like tell us the weather and trajectory of this if we were to strike here and everything. The AI is like based off this and based off calculations, this will probably be the best course of action because of this and that the third all off of the past, and it's still doing what he says, is backlogging and everything and giving you the best information forward or whatever. But I think that's what we should use it as. We shouldn't use it as
Right.
people. The problem I have with AI is people are using it to replace their thinking.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem I
Right.
have with it. You know,
Right.
like
Right.
I can ask a question, like, and I use it for Chat GPT all the time. I'm like, um, I missed this script. Can you please give me a version of the script or whatever? And they'll like generate a script or whatever the case may be or whatever. Like I'll use it for that, or I'll type a whole paragraph or a whole paper or something like that, right? And I'm like, can you read this back to me in like a more professional way or whatever? And they'll read it back to me in a more professional way. It's still my words, but I want a more professional way. Anything it
Yeah.
can kind of clean up, clean it up or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how I think AI should be used. It should be used as an advanced version of Clippy. You remember Clippy from Microsoft Word?
Yeah, and that's how
Like,
I view it. It's like a search engine that can give you an output. Like that's the way I
yeah,
look at it, basically. And that is a technological advancement. There is innovation there that is valuable. Like this stuff will be valuable to us, but I think people are really looking at it the wrong way. Like they're like, yeah, I think a company like Kraft and like hearing Kraft and talk about them being an AI driven company, like Strauss would probably tell them like you guys are going to be out of business in 20 years because like you're not going to make anything new if that's the way you're going to approach creativity. And I think that would be true. Like people have to be the driving force in a creative space, I think. And like we've talked about this before, year or two ago, when we were talking about AI, is like AI can be a tool to automate things that are tedious and not super valuable to the creative process.
yeah,
Like adding grass to a space or adding trees and brush and things like that. Like that stuff is not necessarily super important in the sense of like needing a human touch 100% of the time. But like creating character models, creating splash art. Like you showed me something from League where they use AI to like make a fucking Zeri splash art for a skin, and it, like her hand isn't even touching the gun, you know? Like the gun's
Yeah,
just floating above her hand, and it's like they release that as an image, you know? Like we're getting to a point, and actually I was looking through some of the cards for Riftbound the other day, and this isn't an AI thing necessarily, but it is kind of a like a showing kind of where Riot is from a laziness standpoint. Dude, a lot of the art on the cards is just ripped straight out of the video game, you know?
yeah.
And I hate that. Like, you know, it's like that's so lazy to me. It's like make new art for the card game, bro. Like you're selling this product like dude, these boxes cost like $180 right now or some fucking crazy shit, you know? It's like you're really going to charge that much for something that's like some of this art has been around for 15 years, you know, and you're just stapling it on a fucking card. It's like super lazy. It's the same mindset though as using AI to generate your art. It's like you don't want to spend the time to have the art created because it's very time consuming and costly, you know, and you want to take the easy way out, you know, you want to still make tons of money but not have to spend a ton of money in order to create the art, you know. And I think it's the same idea with a company like Crafton, you know, or companies that are going to use AI to a more significant degree. It's just not a. I think these companies are going to quickly realize when they try to release products that are built using these tools that I just don't feel like players are going to respond to them. But I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong.
Sorry for coughing in y'all ear. I thought I muted the mic. I did not. I
You're good.
apologize about
We you know we warned everybody.
that. See, yeah, we can't even fucking laugh without coughing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk for more than 20 seconds without needing to cough. So it's like, you know, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just it's a it's a I think that's the part with AI that scares me is how much companies are going to start trying to lean on it, you know, as a way to actually get productivity out of. And like my wife sees this with school with the kids now, dude. It's like their version of Spark Notes is Chat GPT now, you know.
Oh my god, that's
It's awful.
crazy,
She
dude.
she literally, I feel like half her job now is just trying to see if kids are submitting things that they got from AI, you know, basically. It's crazy like how prevalent it is.
Yeah, I don't know how you met it. I just don't think it was ready to be unleashed upon the world. Like
I
at
would
least
agree with that.
in
Yeah.
in waves. Like it shouldn't have been free. Honestly, that a paywall would eliminate the children aspect out of it off rip. Um, I
Yeah.
don't think, and then even from the video game perspective, the video game industry perspective, my biggest fear is I'm not even in like the video game world anymore or whatever. And my biggest fear is the new blood. You know, like we already see
Yeah.
AI taking over. Like if you can look at like there are plenty of articles, y'all, where they're like AI is eliminating entry level jobs,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we as a society is making. Um, I don't know if it's more so over here in the West. I don't know how it's doing it in Europe and everything like that. But over
Yeah.
here in the West, like it's eliminating entry level jobs, and we need those entry level jobs. Like regardless of how you feel about them, like you need to start somewhere. And coming out of college and not being able to get a job because AI can do your job or AI can do a part of your job, and it comes like, well, that's good enough. We don't need an extra human. We got to pay for insurance. We got to pay for all this other stuff. Nah, we can just use the robot. I think that's crazy to me. Um,
Yeah.
and even using the AI to like generate grass or whatever, like that would go to an entry level or a fucking intern or something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
You're
yeah,
right.
an intern would do
Totally.
that shit.
Totally.
Um, and I understand both arguments, right? I understand like, well, yeah, we can get an AI to just generate this grass for us and keep doing that, but then why not get an intern to do that and they can learn why we're putting the grass there and a part of
Yeah.
level design and how we texture the grass and all the other
Right.
stuff like that,
Right.
right? You know,
Right.
so uh it's good. It's good and bad things to it. Like I said, it should be used as a tool, not a replacement. And I think
Well,
people
yeah.
are using it as a replacement, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I saw an interesting article actually the other day. Was an actor was talking about AI and that companies are starting to use AI generated models in the background of scenes instead of actually getting real people. Characters that don't say anything; they're just in the background, like doing something. And they're using AI to fill those spots now. And he was saying that like those spots would go to young actors who like aren't getting big parts. That's how they learn. And if we take that away from them, there's going to be no pipeline for like new actors. Basically. And it's like the same thing you're kind of getting at as well. And it's like, yeah, I mean, this is all true. I do wonder, I'm going to talk about this later
Yeah.
because I do have a topic with related to just like capitalism in general, but this is all
Hmm.
related to it. Is just like this idea of needing to always make more money, all like always, forever and ever. And this is the natural result of that mindset is you keep cutting things. You just keep cutting things to save more money, to save more money, to save more money, to make things you make things cost less to make, and then you charge more for them, and that's how you make more money. And eventually there's going to be a wall that we hit, and I don't know when that is, where that is, what it looks like, but I feel
Yeah.
like we're rapidly approaching it right now, with this
Yeah. I
stuff. And
mean, it's the Gilded Age part two. I think we're headed towards that.
yeah,
Like we already went through this in the early 1900s, where
yeah,
people were cutting things and labor was cheap, but goods were very expensive, and pretty much the top 1% were eating. And we hit the recession, and or we hit a depression rather, not a
yeah.
recession. It was a depression, and that's what happened in the Gilded Age. And I don't want us to head there, but it seems like we are
We're
heading there again.
rapidly heading there
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, we'll talk more about that later though.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Strauss Zelnick, massive W, Crafted, massive L. All right, moving on. Montreal, I just wanted to talk about MOBAs actually to you real quick because Quantic
Dragon Ball
Dream,
MOBA.
yeah, Quantic Dream announced the MOBA that they're working on a couple weeks ago, and everybody kind of was like, "Huh? Like, why are they making a MOBA?" And then I came across this when I was browsing Steam the other day. There's actually a Dragon Ball MOBA out there. I forget what it's called. It has some ridiculous fucking name. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Um, but it actually seems like it's somewhat popular. Uh, Gekishin Squadra, I think is what it's called.
Okay, yeah, I've
Yes,
never seen that before.
this is the free. It's a free to play MOBA, Dragon Ball MOBA that just came out in September. And then we have Heroes of New Earth, which is coming back as well right now, which is very interesting that all this is happening around the same time. Because you and I have talked about League, and like League's kind of, I feel like League's like kind of not waning, but it's definitely they're definitely losing players.
Hmm.
In the last several months, maybe the last year or so, and I think Dota is kind of plateaued in terms of its popularity as well. Do you feel like MOBAs? Is there an opportunity for somebody to come in and kind of steal some of the spotlight from these two big games?
Yeah, okay. I will say this. Yeah, I'm looking at this spellcaster game. I didn't know it was a MOBA. I thought it was a team
No,
hero shooter type
nope,
deal. I didn't know
it's a
this was a
MOBA.
MOBA.
Yeah,
That looks actually pretty cool. I might play that actually. Um, but yeah, I think this is a natural evolution of things, bro. Um, if you hear the way people talk about like first it was I heard the way people talking about especially with DJ Overwatch, and then
yeah.
now like Marvel Rivals. I hear the
Yeah.
way they talk. I hear the way the community acts. And I hear the way they just bicker amongst themselves. I'm like, you know what this sounds like? It sounds like League to me. It sounds like me when I get mad at League. Why are we not buffing this character?
Yeah.
Why is this character
Yep.
nerfed?
Yep.
This character's
Yep.
overpowered. What are we doing? And these are like casual players saying this shit. I'm like,
Yep.
you know what you guys probably would like, or probably won't like, actually, is League of Legends. And they like so turned off by League of Legends when I mentioned that shit to them. Like even DJ, he's like turned off by it. He's like, I don't want to play the mouse thing, and well, I mean now he can probably play with ASW like a controller now if he wants to, the
Yeah.
original League.
Yeah.
But anyway, but he also likes Paragon and stuff like that, right? So I think there is a calling out there for people who want this game, who want these type of games. Uh, and I think like it's just a natural evolution of things. The hero shooters, in my opinion, were nothing but spin-offs of MOBAs. It was spin-off, it
Yeah.
was MOBAs without the meta, without the nuance of minions or whatever. And now I think it's coming full circle to where people want that kind of nuance in games and stuff like that. And yeah, you're right. I mean, as much as I like League and Dota, they've been around for 15 years now at this point, and Dota even longer. Like if you count Dota one,
Yeah.
uh, so it's like um, at some point someone's gonna pick up on that and say like there is a player base that wants these type of games, and I even think like for I even think like the other gotcha games are like kind of falling off. They becoming really samey.
Yeah.
Um, and then even Fortnite itself, like I know a lot of people still play Fortnite, but it's almost like the peanut butter and jelly of like battle royales now. Like it's just like yeah,
Yeah.
it's there. I used to eat it a lot, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to eat it. And then Call of Duty, like people hate Call of Duty now. Like from what I'm seeing, like it's just too much now. So I think there is a space for MOBAs again.
Yeah.
I think this is a very interesting time to try to get into it and steal some thunder from people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does make sense because like it's been a long time now since we really had a big push in the MOBA genre. I think companies gave up on it for about 10 years and realized like they weren't going to compete with League and Dota realistically, but 10 years is a long time. Where
Yeah,
those games were 10 years ago versus now is very, very different. I feel like, I think the League community in particular is a little fed up, and I do think a lot of players would consider another game if something popped up. And I mean, I didn't mention it, but Deadlock's another one from Valve.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
that's right.
it's not out yet, and we haven't actually tried it, but you know, that game looks very intriguing from a conceptual standpoint. And I do wonder, you know, I do wonder if these games will kind of eat into the MOBA pie a little bit when they're what you know when that game in particular is out. You know, this Dragon Ball game I think is like really niche. I did actually go watch some gameplay of it.
Yeah,
Um, and it looks kind of cool, but it's a little goofy. Like it's you know I don't think it has like legs really per se. And even this game from Quantic Dream probably doesn't really have legs either necessarily. But it's cool that they're. It actually does look cool though, based on what they were talking about and some of the screenshots they showed of it. So you know, there's something potentially there. And then you know, Heroes of New Earth coming back is just hilarious. Because that game was one of the big three when these MOBAs first became popular, and that game you know died within a few years.
yeah.
So it is interesting to bring that IP back, but I do wonder if that game could have legs again though, because that game was appealing in a way that the other two weren't. So it really depends on how they implemented it. I don't know is it out yet or is it coming out in November? I don't remember.
Here's a New
Yeah,
Earth. The open beta is out now. Oh wait,
it
no, I'm
is.
sorry. The open beta starts in November
Okay,
11th.
gotcha. So we'll
Yeah.
see how people respond to it, for sure. But I do think there's a space here for companies that want to try. You know, I don't uh, like. I almost feel like I don't know how you feel about this because like League and Dota are games, like Dota 2 are games that are platforms. They're not really games in the traditional sense. Like they're just live service platforms. So like making a sequel doesn't really make sense for these games. But do you think League could use that kind of refresh at this point? Because
Actually,
I kind of do. I
I
don't know.
think I think both of them can.
Yeah,
Dota not so much. I think Dota changes so much where it doesn't
yeah,
really need a sequel.
yeah,
But I think League of Legends definitely needs an engine upgrade. It needs a lot of stuff.
right.
And I can see it going one or two ways, right? I can see it going really bad or really good. They can do like a stealth thing where they did like how CS:GO did CS:GO 2, and people
Yeah,
like love CS:GO 2 or whatever. It's like the
yeah,
same, almost the same game with like a new engine and new graphics and stuff like that, but it's still the same game. They can go that route, which I think they should, or they can go a totally different route where they like kind of change the entire game. Where they, I want to compare it to like Guns Duels in Guns Duels 2, where they took away a lot of shit that people liked in Guns Duel 1 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I want them to be more competition because this will force, especially League. I think Dota is like, um, I don't want to offend nobody, but like I think Dota's on the back end as far as like not back end is behind League as far as popularity. So it
For
has to
sure.
try.
Yeah.
It has the
Totally.
room, in my opinion, to try new stuff, right? To get
Yeah.
people to come back to them and everything of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right.
League is still stuck in its ways because there's still a player base there. Now,
Yeah.
when Heroes of New World come out, and if it's still worth anything, it may start eating that player base. I mean, we still have Smite that's still going strong, but Smite 2 is a good example of a game that Smite 1 people love, and then Smite 2 came out, people were like, I don't really like this game too much, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, and then we also have, I think there are like other MOBAs that people don't really take seriously, but are actually quite popular, like Pokemon Unite. I don't take it as a serious MOBA, but there are people who take that as a serious MOBA, like Pokemon
Yeah.
Unite. So,
Yeah.
I think there are avenues to where it could start eating League of Legends fan base or whatever, because we're already fed up. I mean, like me and you are a prime example of that. We're like,
Right.
we're just
Yeah.
fed up with the game
Yeah.
at
You're
this point.
actually interested in learning Dota because of where you're at with League, you know?
Yeah. So
So
I still want to get that itch of a MOBA. It's just like League's not doing it for me anymore, you know? And when I play Dota, I'm like, man, I actually got to think about how I see it. I'm relearning a new game all over again and using my brain. I'm not on
yeah.
autopilot, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
um, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, looking at Dota though, there's currently almost 400,000 people playing right now. So it's still pretty popular
Damn, that's a lot of people.
on
Holy shit.
Steam, but yeah, I do think there's space to eat away at these games for sure at this point. So
Yeah.
all right. Let's move on to our final story, which is Circana numbers for September 2025. So it's actually a big month for video games in general. Comparatively, we've been relatively flat for the most part, and this month was big. So total video game sales for September 2025, 4.841 billion this year versus 4.388 billion last year. That is a 10% increase. That's one of the biggest increases we've seen in years, month over month or year to year. Video game content, so this is full game sales, DLC microtransactions, etc. 4.32 billion this year versus 3.909 billion last year. That's an 11% increase. And then video game hardware, 324 million this year versus 261 million last year. That's a 24% increase. And then video game accessories, 197 million this year versus 218 million last year. 10% decrease there. And then year to date, we've got 42 billion total video game sales, 42.172 billion this year versus 41.444 billion last year, 2% increase. Video game content, a 1% increase there. Video game hardware, 20% increase year over year, which makes sense with the Switch 2. And then video game accessories, 6% decrease overall year over year. So, yeah, so big month for games. September had a lot of new games coming out that we'll see on the list here. So kind of makes sense there. Top 20 best-selling games for the month of September 2025. Number 1, Borderlands 4. Number 2, NBA 2K26. Number 3, EA Sports FC 26. Number 4, Ghosts of Yote. Number 5, Madden NFL 26. Number 6, Helldivers 2. Number 7, Silent Hill F. Number 8, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Number 9, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evil East Chronicles. 10, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater. 11, EA Sports College Football 26. Number 12, NHL 26. Number 13, Digimon Story Time Stranger. 14, Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. 15, Minecraft. 16, Forza Horizon 5. 17, Grand Theft Auto 5. 18, Donkey Kong Bonanza. 19, Kickoff Bundle. 20, Red Dead Redemption 2, which has held at that ranking for 2 months in a row now, which is interesting. Montreal, what's jumping out to you there?
Actually, Red Dead Redemption. To be honest with you, I can't believe people still buy it. I mean, it's a good game.
77 million copies sold of that game since it
That
came
game
out.
is fucking insane, dude.
Yep, huge.
Actually, the one that's sticking out to me though, I'm actually surprised. Sonic Racing
Yeah,
and Silent Hill, another
yeah,
one,
yep.
and
And Final
actually
Fantasy Tactics,
Final
dude.
Fantasy
What?
Tactics, yeah,
What the
and,
hell? 9? Like I'm like, okay, let's go, dude.
in the Digimon story, I knew people
Yeah,
was liking the game, but I didn't think people like it that much.
yeah,
So, you know, I'm actually surprised that a lot of people are like strafing outside their comfort zone. I think a lot of people are trying other games now, and I like that.
yeah,
One thing I am
yeah,
surprised at, you know what I'm surprised about? I don't see any
yeah.
fucking Mario Kart over here. Yeah, fuck Mario Kart.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, isn't that interesting? The new Mario Kart World. I don't think it's doing very well. You know,
Everybody says it's ass, and I believe them. I played it for 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I don't care anymore.
which is crazy. I can't believe that. Mario Kart 8 has been on the chart almost every month for the last like 10 years, you know?
Yep,
Um,
we've been
and
talking about it for the last
yeah,
7
and
years of
Mario
listening to the
Kart World
podcast.
comes out and like ruins it now. It's like Mario Kart 8's not on the list, nor is Mario Kart World on the list, you know? So I don't know. Nintendo might have fucked it up. Who knows?
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy being number 9 is great. I love to see that. Borderlands number 1, probably not really a surprise. That franchise is huge.
yeah, I wasn't surprised about that.
It's just weird though, because like I don't feel like it's that not they're not that good of games anymore. I don't know. I feel like the gimmick has like run its course, you know? Like it's not, oh, it's a looter shooter. Like that carried the first couple games, I feel like. And we're kind of at the point where it's like, oh, it's a looter shooter is not going to carry the game anymore. So they need to make a good game, which I mean, they made a pretty okay game, you know, but I'm just not like blown. My hair's not blown back by Borderlands 4, I guess is what I'm saying.
You know, I agree. I think this is going to be a last one, in my opinion. I don't see them making the Borderlands 5.
I mean, I'm
They
sure
might.
they'll make it. I just wonder how it'll do. You know, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see. Go see Yote though on the list, which is interesting. Didn't it? I don't even think it officially came out till October, right? Wasn't the release date like October 2nd? So this was like 3 days on the market because this data runs through October 4th. So being number 4 on the list with only 3 days of sales is really impressive, actually.
Yeah, it came out on the 2nd.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
yeah. So that's pretty impressive for them. I'm sure it'll be on the October month as well, I would assume. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to read into this too much, but is this like almost an indicator that like are people looking for something different right now? Like are they,
Oh,
you
you
know?
know what I don't see on this list? Oh, actually, it is on this list. Okay, Call of Duty, it is. But I will say, I actually think like the big three of like non-gaming gaming, NBA 2K, NFL or Madden NFL 2026 or whatever,
Yeah.
and then or I guess you could say four if you're outside of the U.S. Uh, football, college football, or not college football, but EA football, the
Yeah.
soccer game, and then obviously college football, and then Black Ops or Call of Duty. I think all those games are like struggling to keep a player base because they are so. If anything, AI can generate is those games. Sue me. I don't care what anybody else says. Like they can make the AI can make the perfect fucking Madden
Yeah.
game because it's literally the same shit every year. I don't care what y'all say. Well, actually, Montreal, the hit stick is actually 2% faster this year. I don't fucking care. Same game. It's the same game to me. It's been the same game since 2020. I don't care what anybody says. Chris can kill me for that. 2K's been the same game. DJ, you can kill me for that. It's been the same fucking game for the last 5 years. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I legitimately don't care. Like, and I'm not going to play these games for my opinion because they are the same game to me. And yeah, I think a lot of gamers because I hear this notion. It is not just on Twitter. I see it on Reddit. I see it like when I'm like even on my regular like normie podcast, my hip hop podcast, and everything like that. People talk about video games sometime in those podcasts. Was like, yeah, man, I don't know. Madden and Call of Duty ain't really doing it for me. So I like one guy was like, I played this Ghost of Yo T. He said Yo T. I was
Lord.
cracking up. I was cracking up, bro. But
Yeah.
he's like, and then the other guy was like, Yotai. And he was like, yeah, I played Ghost of Yotai. I fucking love this game. He's like, the guy was like, you know, there's another one. He's like, there's another one? I was like, he's like, yeah, it's called Ghost of Tsushima. And he's like, I'm going to play that and whatever. So, like, these people don't know these games that are
They
coming
don't know
out.
the games exist, bro. They live in
Yeah,
a
man.
bubble, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they were like, a lot of people were saying, like, you know, oh, video games are stale. They're becoming samey and everything. And like one of his co-hosts, he does game. He was like, bro, have you tried to play? He's like, I've been trying to tell you to play other video games. He's like, just play Monster Hunter with me, or just play this other game with me, or just play this other game with me, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
He's always like, nah, I'm gonna stick with my 2K, or oh, I'm gonna stick with this or whatever. But now he played Ghost of Yotai, and he's like, I might try Helldivers with you, or I might try this other game with you, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, bro. And like, I think other people are starting to realize, like, outside of Fortnite, outside of Call of Duty, outside of NBA 2K, there's this vast array of games. Like that's like somebody just reading like Goosebumps, fucking Song and Fire, or Song of Ice and Fire, or whatever, like the Game of Thrones books or whatever, right? And then reading the Twilight books, they're like, oh man, like these are the only 3 books I've read, 3 series I've read. I don't really care about anything else. Books are getting stale. You're like, bro, there's a vast amount of books that you can read. I can introduce you to, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like video games are that same echelon, and this year reminded me of, what was it, 2017, of video games, like just banger after banger after banger after banger, bro.
Yeah,
like
we've had a great year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel that too a little bit, and it's good. I mean, I just wonder, like, if we could unlock all these people who play Madden and shit and NBA 2K and fucking like just unlock them into the greater industry, and like how vibrant it really could be. I like it's one of those things, dude. It's like obviously the industry has tended towards free to play games and microtransactions games, but it's only because I feel like those people don't know any better. They don't know anything else, you know?
Yeah, it's I mainly blame the platforms as well. Like if you go on your platform right now, except for like Steam or whatever, right? But if you go on your platform right now, the first things they're gonna blast you with is Call of Duty, Madden, and 2K, and that's in my algorithm, and I don't even play those games.
I will say Steam is a little better than the others.
No, I did say Steam is better. I said Steam is better,
okay,
except for Steam.
Yeah, okay.
I did say except for Steam.
I didn't hear that. Sorry, we're not 100% functional, guys. I'm just I'm trying to listen to all this, and it says some of it's going in one ear out the other.
Except for Steam, and I would say to a certain extent, I don't really count it, but Nintendo Switch Online store, they do a good job of pushing their games as well. Besides the the regular stuff or whatever. But yeah, if you go on Xbox, you go on fucking PlayStation right now, like they're gonna bombard you with those 2 games. Then they have like a column, like it's under that, but they have a column like PlayStation Classics or whatever, right? Where you can if you're on the PlayStation online, you can play those games for free. Like you can play the God of Wars, you can play all this stuff like that. And the podcast I was listening to, that's actually how that guy, he played God of War 2018. He was like, man, this God of War game, I've heard of it back in the day. And then the guy had to correct him. He was like, it's the same game, but there are 3 other games back in the day. He's like, yeah, I didn't play those, but I played this one and I really fucking liked it. And he's like, yeah, man, like play other games or whatever. And he's like, I am going to play other games. So I think I will say too, right? There still is a huge stigma around video games. As much as video games have grown, there's still a stigma around video games that it's like childish or whatever. Like I was playing Trails, right? And like how I say I move my game to the front.
Yeah.
And I was playing Trails, and obviously it's an anime looking game and everything of that nature.
Yeah.
And
course.
Like a couple of her girlfriends came in and they're like, they was like, what game is this? I'm like, Trails or whatever. And they're like, oh, it's like it's like an anime game.
Trails was transported back to high school.
Yeah, like luckily, like it wasn't like I will say I will give Trails a really good, like, not benefit of the doubt, but like credit. They don't really have like raunchy parts to it. Like the raunchiest character is maybe Skara or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
True.
pretty much it, right? You
Yeah.
know,
Shara. Yeah.
so
Charizard. Yeah.
Shara, I'm sorry, Shara. They made that
Well,
may be
no, there
the
is
most.
another. There is Karna. Is her name the one from the Ruan region? Blue
Oh
hair.
yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's probably it or whatever. So I mean, they like looked at me kind of crazy a little bit, but then they went off and they were talking to Dion or whatever. But like, yeah, like I still think there's a stigma that video games are like childish or whatever. There's like, so the other girls like, do you play like? Oh, my husband has this game or has the like the PlayStation 5, but he plays like a shooting game like Call of Duty. She's like, yeah, that's what he plays. I'm like, yeah, I don't play that or whatever. And then I was playing Battlefield. Another person came over. There's like, are you playing Call of Duty? I'm like, no, this is Battlefield, whatever. Like, oh my god, this game is really cool. And I'm like, yeah, like it's not Call of Duty at all. So like people just don't know, or there's still this stigma that it's like childish or whatever the case may be. Um and yeah, they don't really I think it's because of that instance too, right? A lot of people would still play their video games in their front yard or front room.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say they're ashamed of it, but they are ashamed. Like I can only imagine if I was playing Genshin Impact, right? And they walked in, you know, or
Or Wuthering
or
Waves.
Wuthering
Yeah.
Waves, right? You know,
Yeah.
and I was
Oh
playing
yeah.
Wuthering Waves because even when I was playing Ninja Gaiden, right? I was playing Ninja Gaiden and Ayano was on screen and she had a fucking it's a ridiculous outfit. It was like boobs out,
Yeah.
crazy outfit, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my wife was like, "This is what you're playing? Like, what kind of raunchy game you're playing?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" She's on the screen for like
This is why I
literally.
hate this shit in games though, because like the game's not raunchy at all. It just has a stupid fucking outfit, bro. Like it's like Amanda will come in and do the same thing and be like, "Oh, look at her boobies flopping everywhere." And it's like, I mean, like, yeah, they are, but like this has nothing to do with the rest of the game, bro. Like, I don't know. It's just there, okay? It's just there. I don't
Now,
know.
now I will say on the flip side of that, she really enjoyed me playing Ghost of Yotai. She loved
Yeah.
watching me play that game. She was watching. She's like,
Okay.
it's like watching a TV show. She's like, I love watching you play this game.
Yeah.
So it's like a give or take, right? Like Ghost of Yotai and games like that. I think those Western games, as much as me, you give it shit, right? And a lot of other players give it shit for. Um, that is a way for people to get into gaming because it's not
Yeah.
too crazy. Like you got to ease people into the craziness sometimes. You can't just like throw it at them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, top 20 best-selling games year to date. Number 1, NBA 2K26. Number 2, Monster Hunter Wilds. Number 3, Borderlands 4. Number 4, EA Sports College Football 26. Number 5, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Add more colons, please. Number 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 7, Madden NFL 26. Number 8, MLB The Show 25. Number 9, Elden Ring Night Ring. Number 10, WWE 2K25. 11, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Oh, sorry, I got to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. Number 12, Forza Horizon 5. Number 13, Split Fiction. 14, Minecraft. 15, EA Sports FC 26. 16, EA Sports MVP Bundle. 17, NBA 2K25. 18, Ghost of Yote. 19, Helldivers 2. 20, Civilization 7, which will not be on the list for very long. Monster Hunter lost its number 1 spot finally. It took the vast majority of the year, but it finally happened. How many copies must that a game have sold in its launch month?
I
You
think it's
know?
only like 10 million right now. Sold 10 million. I was the reason I know this. I was just on the Monster Hunter Reddit and people were talking about how it's actually like doing really bad compared to like other Monster Hunters. So a lot of
Yeah, well, yeah,
people,
we had remember we talked about that story. I don't know, a few months ago with the first quarter after the game came out, it sold like 250,000 copies or something. Like
yeah.
it was awful, you know. So
So a lot of people on the Reddit, which to my surprise, are like, "I'm glad this is happening because maybe the developers are realize like stuff has to change or whatever the case may be." So
well,
I'm
yeah.
going to say mindset as
Is
well.
this? Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
keep going. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
on Monster Hunter. Do you think they'll fix it with the G rank DLC, or do you think this game's just fucked? Like Wilds is just fucked for us.
I think I actually think we're going to take a little bit longer to get the DLC or the G rank because WoWs is so fucked. I think they actually have to go to the drawing board and figure out what the fuck is going on. Why is this game still not selling? You know,
Yeah, right.
compared to even Rise, Rise is selling still.
Well,
So
there's
it's
an
like
obvious answer: the PC optimization that's still not fixed,
exactly, yeah. And I mean, word of mouth
which is
travels
crazy.
fast, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. No, and I mean, I am happy to see that word of mouth can still have this level of impact on a game. That it's not just some unstoppable force. That's just inherently going to have a ton of sales just because of what it is. That they can fuck it up, like gives me some amount of I don't know, solace, I guess. Because yeah, it's good to see. Like I'm not happy that Wilds is in the state that it's in, that it came out in the state that it came out in, but I am happy that the fans reacted to the game the way they did, and have stopped buying it. Like people aren't buying it,
well, yeah.
and
As much as I don't really care for PC players, I still think there is a level of optimization that needs to be done with your games. You can't if you're
Mhm.
going to release it on all three major consoles, you
Yeah,
have to make sure they all work correctly.
yeah, right,
And uh if I am a PC only player, that fucking sucks for me,
yeah,
Um
yeah,
I mean, just to give you some like lifetime sales, this is what somebody posted in the Reddit. Um Devil May Cry 5 is at 10 million, 10.7 million right now, and Monster Hunter is at 10.7 million, and
yeah.
Monster Hunter Rise is at 17.8 million.
Jesus,
So they still have a ways to catch up.
wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
What's World at? What did you say? World? Did you say
It doesn't have
World's at?
worlds on this list.
Okay,
It doesn't have worlds on this list, unfortunately. I can look it up though.
gotcha. Yeah, because wasn't that like 25 or 30 million or something crazy? Like it was
Yeah,
it was high.
something like that.
Yeah, so they're far from that threshold right now.
28.8 million
Yeah. Oh my god, they're not even
as of
halfway
June
there. That's
30th of
crazy.
this year. Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, dude. Yeah, and I would almost go recommend though, dude, if you're new to Monster Hunter and you played Wilds and for whatever reason it's not doing it for you, go play World. Like it's a
Yeah,
great game,
actually, it's a great game,
Like it is a great
especially with
game.
Iceborne.
It's still there. Yeah, it's still there to go play. So yeah. Yeah, other things on this list, Borderlands jumping up to number 3 right away, not a huge surprise. I will say Minecraft being higher than EA Sports FC 26 and Gosu Yote, just like it hurts my brain, dude. Like how did some of these games continue to sell the way they sell? Like it's just depressing at a certain point.
Minecraft.
Um,
I think we're in a different generation where we didn't have a game that constantly is going. A lot of
yeah,
kids grew up with Minecraft, bro. Like like a lot of 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds. Minecraft was like sometime their first video game they played. It's
yeah,
crazy how many
yeah.
people I encountered. Like, yeah, man, I started playing Minecraft when I was like 8. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's true though.
I mean, it's gonna be the same. We're like 10 years from now, bro. Like 16
Fortnite,
or
yeah.
17-year-olds. Fortnite is gonna be a lot of people's first games.
Yep. Well, we're already
So
there with them. It's like the 25-year-olds, in a few years they're going to be like, "Yeah, my first game was Fortnite." It's like, "Oh god." Oh. Oh, so it is what it is, Montreal. We're old. We just got to come to terms with that.
yep.
All right. Anything else on the list you want to call out or
No, that's it.
okay. Let's move on to guess the meta score, and then I do have a topic I want to talk about.
All right.
So guess the meta score. Where's Ninja Gaiden? We guessed Ninja Gaiden 4. You guessed a 8.2, and I guessed a 7.4, and you are right on the dot, sir.
Oh, it's
8.2
8.2?
is yep, 8.2 is its current score, so you're taking that one
Okay.
for sure. And then Outer Worlds 2 You guessed a 7.0. I guess 7.8, and that game is sitting at an 83 right now.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'm taking that one, I guess. I will say I'm hearing a lot of negative buzz around Outer Worlds 2, though.
Negative or good or positive? I'm
Negative
sorry, I didn't
as
hear it.
in like
Negative.
negative
Okay.
as in like it's very derivative of the first game. Which we've had a lot of sequels like that this year, I guess I will say from my perspective, but um but yeah, but still relatively positive overall though. It looks like from
I mean,
the
it has a third
critics
person
though.
mode, so you can play in third person now.
Yep. Um so I take one, you take one. I don't even know if we were tracking what the overall score is. I don't, I have no idea what that would be at
I'm
this
not even
point.
keeping
But
score.
yeah, I'm not either. We're just doing this for fun. All right, Montreal. So I did have a topic. Because I know you follow sports, to some degree, and I do as well. And I'm sure you saw this last week with the NBA. There's been a sports betting scandal in the NBA with
Yep.
former and current NBA players. Um, and I don't know all the details of this, off the rip, but I do believe it had something to do with fixing games, to some degree. But there was also like a betting ring with cards where they were like fixing card games or whatever,
Yeah, that was
against like
with Chauncey Billups.
randos with Chauncey
Yeah,
Billups and stuff.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't know. This kind of got me fired up because um I think the sports leagues all kind of, they kind of made a deal with the devil several years ago now with all the sports betting apps and stuff and DraftKings and all these things, not just fantasy, where they went into deep with the sports betting side of things the last several years. And they have really embraced the endorsements from those groups. And it has become so prevalent and ubiquitous with all these leagues that it kind of just makes you wonder like what they thought was going to happen down the road, that this being such a like big part of the games now, and it's all over the place, that the players would never do anything, with this stuff. Like they wouldn't succumb to the betting allure of making more money, through some of these things. And um I don't know, I just like it's like an annoying element of capitalism for me, where it just feels like nobody ever wants to have the conversation about the like integrity of anything anymore. It's all about making more money, more money, more money, more money. I mean, we were talking about that earlier with AI, right?
yeah.
But we're just so obsessed with making more money that we put everything aside. We're willing to sacrifice our integrity, our morals, our virtues, our fucking families at some point. You'll fucking sacrifice to make more money. And I just like, where does it end? I don't really understand, like, because I was talking about last week, Madden and EA and the NFL signed 5 more years of Madden, or whatever, and here we are again. They're just doing it again. It's like it's not even a conversation. They just gonna keep fucking doing it. And it's like, quality video game be damned. From the NFL's point of view, it's like you would wonder, like, the NFL would be interested in the idea of having a video game that's actually good, rather than just continuing on with the same bullshit. But they don't
They're
examine
boomers,
it that
bro.
deeply. Yeah,
That
they don't
shit's
examine
boomers.
it that deeply, I know, and the money's rolling in, so it's like, what purpose is there to examine it? But
Yeah.
I just don't. It's just, I guess, like, my question though is like, where does it end? Does it end? Are we just rocketing towards a brick wall where, eventually no one has any jobs and everything costs $1 million, and it's like fucking no one has any money to spend because Elon Musk has it all. It's like, is that the future we're rocketing towards?
uh, I I think it can go one of two ways. If the general public doesn't, I don't want to say like rebel, but like kind of stand up for itself in a way to show people like this is what we don't want. Like you can speak, and
Yeah.
I don't mean like a violent way. Like you can,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everybody can be like not go to work for a week or whatever the case. Like if everybody did that, the economy would be fucked or whatever, right? To show like you need us more than we need you. or something of that nature, like speaking with your wallets and stuff like that. And then I mean, and then unfortunately, a side effect is if you raise prices too high, if you do things too much or whatever, it could be a violent effect. It could be a French Revolution type situation to which we really don't want to do that, but it could come to that. And I don't think anybody wants that. Um, but it just
Yeah.
seems
I
like
don't want it, but I mean, like, I do see a realistic future where that
yeah,
happens.
and I think unfortunately that's where it's gonna go. If everything keeps coming to a head to where, you know, we just keep going for I call it like the optimization of capitalization or capitalism. If we keep going for like optimization and proficiency and what's more proficient and what's more optimal and what's more what's the other word they use? Fuck, I can't think of it. But
Yeah.
if we keep going for that, then that's going to be the issue, or it's going to be the death of like you know, I don't want to say like all of society, but like Western society, right? Because I mean, you look at what China's doing, right? And they turned their
Yeah.
economy around and everything in like 30 years or
Yeah.
whatever, because they went for more of a hybrid, like communist and capitalistic type society where they understood, like, okay, if we take care of our workers, then they won't be mad at us. At
Yeah.
the government, or they will do what the government says because we're taking care of the workers or whatever the case may be. Um,
Yeah.
and everything. So it's just interesting how it's almost a total opposite of what America is doing. Um, and it's like the pursuit of money is is ruining everything. It ruined the integrity of sports. I mean, because I asked my friends too, because like some of them are in Michigan and everything like that. So they like the parlays and they do all the
Yeah.
fan duels and all that shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Right.
obviously in Texas we can't do that. But
Right.
I thought they would be like, "No, man, I love this shit. Like, I love it." But they're like, "No, man, like this shit's ass. Like, it's actually low key ass. Like, it's ruining the game or whatever." Because
Yeah.
not only is it ruining the game from like a fixing perspective, but like the fans are way more ravenous because you may need Kevin Durant to hit that extra three, and then you put
Yeah.
$500 on it.
And
You put your
when he
rent money on
doesn't,
it.
yeah, a whole shitload of people lose a ton of money. Yeah.
Exactly,
Right.
or you may need you may need uh fucking Lamar Jackson to make a touchdown or run in or get these amount of rushing yards or whatever. He decides he wants to throw all game, and you're like, "Fuck, man!" Like you're just like, it's like a
Yeah.
very toxic environment to be in
Right.
for both the players and the fans, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I think it all should just be illegal, in my opinion. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not really one
But there's
for.
too much money on the table, bro. There's no way they're gonna unwind that money funnel. Like I just
I don't. I don't think it's. I think when something's going to have to, and I don't want to put this out in the air in the stratosphere in the universe, but
yeah.
unfortunately, something's going to have to happen to a player that involves betting or the fan duels or the stake or whatever, to where it affects them really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's when like we're going to see a total shift in the way betting has become or betting is taking
Yeah.
place and everything in sports because I mean, League had to. I don't know if you remember this, but League had to put a stamp on it. They said they were like, no, we're not doing any more bets for like their division anymore because people were.
Dota had a similar problem, dude. With Valve had to put the fucking kibosh on it because this was a long time ago now, and I actually did a little bit of it back in the day when I used to watch the international. But you could bet items from Dota on
Oh
matches,
shit!
and then you would put it up, and whatever the value of the item was, you would get the item back plus whatever the bet was in items. So you would get a bunch of random items worth what the difference was, basically,
Yeah.
if you won the bet. If you lost the bet, your item was just lost, basically. And yeah, Valve had to put the kibosh on it. That's why they changed the trading rules on Steam several years ago, was because of
Okay.
Dota betting, like around their professional matches and stuff.
No, it
Um,
was even worse in fucking in League. Like there were professional players literally throwing the game, like
yeah, that's
on
crazy.
on the big stage, and they were like throwing the game, and people were like, and when the scandal was found out.
Yeah.
people will go back and look at their gameplay and they're like, yeah, like he's clearly just running around in a circle for here for about 30 seconds. And then
Yeah.
he decided to do what he needed to do or whatever. Or they'll try to do it in more like little subtle ways where they like in the middle of a team fight, they won't cast a spell here, even though it was like,
Or they'll
ready.
intentionally miss. Yeah. Or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had, like you said, they had to put the kibosh on it. They made it illegal to do any kind of sports betting, or they made it illegal for their games to be on any kind of sports betting sites or whatever. Now
Yeah.
they still do it with streamers, like
Yeah.
people were watching Tyler One or whatever, and like, oh, I bet he won't, make it 10 games in a row or whatever the case may be. So that still goes on, but it's not as prevalent. Um, but it did get to a point though where some people were like kind of throwing his games because of that. Like they needed him to lose the game or something like that, and
Yeah.
somebody will be like watching the game or ghosting them while they're playing the game, and they'll like intentionally lose on his team or whatever because they need him to lose that game for their bet or whatever the case
Jesus
may be.
Christ. Yeah, it's
So
terrible.
it is infected like almost every aspect of like our entertainment, like our sports entertainment or our video
Oh,
game
it's out of
entertainment.
control, dude. The difference between now and even 10 years ago is like insane to me. Like this stuff, you couldn't even talk about this shit on an official NFL broadcast back in the day. Like it was so against the rules. Like if you even mentioned it, they would fucking fire you if you were affiliated with the NFL, you know? And now it's like, it's just built into their coverage now, literally. Like the spreads are shown on game fucking broadcasts and like, it's just, dude, it's
Yeah,
awful.
and
I don't know.
I just think that's doing too much, man. Like even like the ads or whatever, like nothing grinds my gears more when I'm watching like a sports YouTuber. They're like, "Oh yeah, if you're trying to make a bet, go to the fan duels." It's like, oh my fucking
Yeah,
god, dude, shut
yeah.
the fuck up. I don't want to bet on the game. Just
Everybody
bet a
knows what
lot.
FanDuel is. Like, I don't need you to tell
Yeah,
me for the 80 millionth
yeah,
time. You know,
exactly.
it's
Enter this promo code to get $53. Just like I don't fucking
well,
care,
dude. If you
dog.
remember,
Like,
FanDuel and DraftKings originally they were fantasy sites. Like, that's all you did was daily fantasy. You know, like
oh,
now it's
okay.
like full on sports betting. Like, do you remember where you could like make a lineup and that was the way you bet or whatever? But it wasn't like you weren't betting on game lines. Like, you know, like Ravens plus 3.5 or whatever. You weren't betting on like that kind of those kind of bets. It was literally like you would draft a fantasy lineup and you were trying to get the best lineup for the weekend, you know, and that was
Yeah,
daily fantasy, quote unquote, or whatever. And that shit is fun. It was fun to some degree, but it's like it turned into now they're all in all these other betting things too. They still have that element of FanDuel and DraftKings, I'm sure, but you can do the more traditional betting now too, the Vegas style betting where you know you're betting on game lines. Like you know, I think the Ravens are going to cover at 3.5, you know, or whatever, and you know that kind of shit. Or you can it gets so granular that you can literally bet on the next play that's going to be called. Like you can be like, I think they're going to call a running back ISO up the middle, you know, and like you can literally bet on that, you know, or it's going to be the tush push, you know, for the Eagles on the next play or whatever. It's like that like that's all there and it's like I just it's out of control, dude. Like I think it's completely out of control. And just to be clear, because I was a little vague about what happened with the NBA, so this is from the Google AI summary, so you know understand that there might be some misses in here, but I'm just getting the easiest thing I can. So federal prosecutors indicted current former NBA players and coaches in a series of illegal sports betting cases. The specific allegations include Terry Rozier, accused of leaving a game early to allow co-conspirators to win a bet against him.
yeah,
Damon Jones, alleged to have leaked information about a player's injury to help a bettor. And then Chauncey Billups, accused of being involved in rigged poker games organized by the mafia, which that part is true. The mafia part, yes. So the mafia is involved with the poker ring that Chauncey Billups had that involved many former athletes as well, where they were rigging poker games using technology to see what players had in their hand, and then they were feeding that information to the players, some of the players, and they were winning. You know, they were winning money against these guys, basically, and you know, essentially stealing money from people. So yeah, it's bad. It's very bad, and you know, it's just philosophically, I just don't. I can't for the life of me like it's one of those things where it's like they knew what they were doing when they were getting in bed with these betting sites, you know? And I think anybody with any amount of honesty involved with this stuff knew this was going to happen someday, you know? And maybe they didn't think it would happen so quickly within a half decade, but here we are. um, but
Well,
you know,
it's kind of like one of those things where there's a reason why we didn't do it in the first place, and it was because of stuff like this or whatever. But it hasn't happened for so long because we banned it
yeah,
that
does
we
everybody
forgot.
forget Pete Rose? Like, did everybody forget about him? You know?
Well, it's almost like for instance, like vaccines or whatever, right? People like don't think we need vaccines anymore because like, well, we didn't get sick for the last 20, 30 years to these to the measles or whatever. And it's like, yeah, because it's eradicated because of vaccines. And it's like, but we don't know what the world was like when measles was like a thing or whatever the case may be. And I feel
Right.
like um so because we had the vaccines or whatever, uh now all this like, people are like not taking it seriously or whatever the case may be. And I feel like it's the same thing with like certain rules in sports and things of that nature. We had this kind of rule where we didn't bet on sports because maybe when we did try to do this in the early days, like I'm probably too young for this, but like in the early days, I'm pretty sure like in the old NFL and old NBA stuff like that, and even like I mean, we still bet on boxing or whatever. But I mean, that's a
Yeah.
thing in boxing where some people were rigged they were throw a match or whatever, or whatever the case may be. But it was a thing. And then we got rid of it because we're like, it's too
Yeah.
much of a thing where people can just throw matches and win
Yeah.
for one side or win for the other side. So it became taboo. And now that it's not taboo anymore, we kind of forgot about why we did it. And now we're looking at the results like, oh, this is why we don't allow betting in sports. It ruins the integrity of the goddamn sport, you know?
Right. Right.
And you were saying
Yeah.
about Pete.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Pete Rose. I mean, he's the famous in baseball. Like he was involved in rigging games and stuff for betting purposes, and obviously, he was like vilified for his whole life after that,
Yeah.
basically. And to the point that like he wasn't. People did not forgive him until after he died, which was like right after he died. People were like, "Oh, well, maybe we shouldn't be so hard on him." And it's like, yeah, I mean, it might have been nice to have said that to him before he died, but because basically his whole life after that was miserable because of that shit. But anyways, the point about integrity though, I guess is the kind of the main thing I want to hit on here is like I feel like we've lost integrity in like everything, It's like we're just doing these things regardless of their impact because they make us money. And it's like at some point somebody has to step in and say, no, this is wrong. Like, yes, we can make more money, but like making more money can't be the end all be all of every single thing we do all the time. It's like there's got to be some amount of like rightness or morality to some of the things that we choose to do in life. It's like I'm just like frustrated in general because it's just like a lot like this happens. You got the EA thing last week with the fucking, then you got EA getting bought by the Saudis and fucking nobody's batting an eye against that. Actually, there is a union that is starting to throw up a stink about that, but it's probably not going to amount to much, but it's just I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be a limit for what we're willing to do to make more money, and I think the end point of that is going to be very ugly for us. To your point, like I don't necessarily want violence, but like that might end up becoming what comes out of it. Cause like I was joking at the beginning of this, but we're definitely at a point where like the people who have the most money, that 1% or whatever, the Elons, the Bezoses and whatever, they have so much of the world's money that it is becoming difficult for the rest of us to actually make enough money to like live comfortably. And I'm not saying necessarily me and Montreal specifically, like I think we're both pretty happy with where we are in our lives, but even with us though, it is frustrating that like we both achieved things in our career in the last few years that were kind of like big gains for us financially and otherwise, and it's like it's all been like I feel like it's all been ripped back because of everything that's happened economically the last few years though. at the same time, it's like I start making more money in my career, and then we have massive fucking inflation that happens, and now companies are being greedier than fucking ever, and they're charging insane amounts of money for shit that they used to not charge that much for. And it's just like it's frustrating, I guess, because it's like it just creates this scenario where it's like you just have to continue to push for more and more and more. You can never be complacent, and it's like that's probably a good thing in general, but it's just I don't know. It's just frustrating when you feel like you achieve something, but then when you like take a step back and you look at the cost of things versus the way that what they used to cost, and it wasn't even that long ago that these things cost half as much as they cost now. You know, and it's frustrating. It just feels like these companies are just taking advantage of the little man all the time. And I can't even imagine what it's like to be somebody who makes like $40,000 a year, and has to live off that, with like children or something like that. That's got to be impossible. Um, I don't know. It's just I don't
No,
know.
I
So
I agree.
I'm
I just feel
I'm
like
ranting, but
no, I agree with your rant. I feel like there's such a disdain for, which I understand. I understand propaganda, and I won't get into the propaganda history of it or whatever. Um, but there's such a disdain for people living off the government or living off of uh whatever. Like how you said, like there's a complacency that we don't want to get to or whatever because we all feel like we have to constantly work or whatever. Um, and I get that to a certain degree, like hard work and everything, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and all that bullshit like that. I feel like only works though if the system works. You see what I'm saying? And right now,
right.
I don't think the
Yeah.
system's working in our
Right.
favor.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
I feel like it should accommodate the middle class while promoting accommodate the middle class while promoting the working class to get to the middle class while also the upper class is going to get money regardless. I
Right.
think putting your focus, all your eggs on the upper class is the wrong way to go. I feel like from the bottom up pretty much because you're going to get that money at the top, right? Because you control everything
Yeah.
almost
Well,
essentially.
dude, and when's it for those people? Like, when is enough for you guys? It's
Exactly,
like what more hundreds of millions isn't enough for you? Like, I don't understand. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
no, you're right. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I'm not even rich, and I don't understand the excessive need for greed or the excessive need
yeah,
for like
right, right,
$1 trillion. Like people are trying to become the first trillionaire, and it's just like, I'm even thinking to myself, Justin. I'm like, if I get $1 billion, what would I do with that? I would probably go on a farm somewhere, fuck off, build my own infrastructure to where I'm like,
yeah,
fuck everybody else, and I don't want
yeah.
to fuck with anybody else anymore. That's what I would do. But it's just like I don't understand the excessive need to like what to control everything. That's what it seems like
By
to
the
me.
way,
It seems like
that probably wouldn't even use 5% of your net worth if you were a billionaire.
exactly. So
So yeah,
it's
I don't know.
like, and this is just me in my head. I would probably get bored really fast. Like I can go anywhere I
Yeah,
want to. I can buy anything I want to buy. I can do anything I want to do.
yeah.
Or within limitations of the law or whatever. But like, yeah, I can do all this stuff or whatever. And it's just
Well,
like,
it's
and
probably
if I'm
true. Have you
still,
ever played a game where that's really hard, and then you put the cheat codes in afterwards, and
yeah,
it's like it
you don't
loses
want to
all
do
its
that anymore.
fun. You don't want to play
Yeah,
the game
exactly.
anymore. Yeah, it's not fun. That's exactly what
Exactly.
you're describing. And I'm going to assume that's why a lot of our richer people are degenerates because they're looking for some kind of fucking thrill in their life because they are bored. They probably are bored. So,
If what would help them a lot, in my opinion, helping other
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I get, I not. It may
Making
sound selfish,
society
but
better.
yeah,
Yeah.
it may sound selfish, but I mean, I get a thrill off of like going to a soup kitchen, and helping those people out. Like, it doesn't give me a thrill per se, but it makes me feel good. Like at least I'm helping someone out for the day or whatever the case may be. Or if I see a homeless person who needs something to eat or whatever, I'm like, all right, man, come to the store with me. We can, get you something to eat real quick. I mean, I do that sometimes when I'm just, driving about if I have the time or whatever. And I think people look at that and be like, you're feeding into a thing or whatever. But I always look at it as paying it forward or some shit like that. And it makes me feel good at the end of the day. Like I can, whether or not I made that person's day or not, I care. But it also made me feel good that I can like try to help somebody out. And I think that's what. But I think we're, especially here in like in America, we're such an uh, individualistic society that the sense of community has like dwindled away, and
Yeah.
especially with like technology or whatever. I mean, you see it with video games too, right? Like we
Right.
don't have LAN parties like we used to anymore. I mean, me and
Yeah.
you, I mean, we still do, but like we don't like the vast majority of people don't have these LAN parties anymore. They like yearn for these LAN parties. They yearn for human interaction. It's actually infecting every like, and once you really break it down, like capitalism is infecting every part in individualism.
Yeah.
It's affecting every part of our lives. Like dating, like I can only I listen to some of my single friends and how they're dating, and I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? Like that
Yeah.
shit sounds terrible, bro. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, and it can be like the most attractive people. It is not just like average looking people. It's like attractive people are having issues dating. It's just like it's just infecting everything. And I'm just like, when is enough enough? When are we gonna be like, enough is enough, y'all? Like we
Yeah.
need to get back to basics on some stuff or whatever. And I think that getting back to basics part as well is also affecting our lives because we're doing it in the wrong ways. Like, I don't know. It's just I can go on for hours about the shit. But in retrospect, I do think like the money aspect is a huge aspect of it. People are going to be doing gambling because they need more money, whether it be to pay their rent, to just get more money, to put food on the table, or whatever the case may be, or some kind of addiction. I think a lot of it is addiction. Um,
Yeah.
we have a lot of addictions going on now, and unfortunately, we are feeding off that addiction, whether it be like a porn addiction, a video game addiction, a gambling addiction, uh, like people are feeding off those vices and they're making money off those vices and they're sucking every bit of dollar out of those vices. And I think that's like very dangerous because what if all this shit crashes at the same time?
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, um, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just something. I don't know what we can do individually about it. Really just speak with our wallets. Um,
Yeah, I mean that's all you really can do is obviously go out and try to vote like your local elections make a lot more of a political difference than like the federal or the big global one or countrywide ones. So I
yeah.
say people go to your local elections, uh, and go to your local like fucking town hall meetings and shit like that. Like that shit actually matters. Talk to your council, your city councils and shit like that. Um, those make a huge difference. Uh, Video games, like you said, it's like talk with your wallets. Like that's why I haven't bought, even
Yeah.
though my purchase doesn't matter. That's why I haven't bought a Madden game in like fuck like 10 years, 15 years now. I think '07 was the last one I bought. So like
Yeah.
12 years or something like that. And I haven't bought 2K in 13 years. Yeah, 13 years or whatever. So well, I say '07, so that's 18 years. I haven't bought Madden 18 years, I think.
Jesus.
And I haven't bought fucking 2K in 12 years. The last one I bought was 2K13.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, is what it is, Montreal. We can hope until we're dead that Madden improves, but I don't think it will in our lifetime. So it's going to be sad when we hit 2030 and we talk about the deal where they renew the deal for 2035, and at that point it will have been 25 years of Madden exclusivity, literally a quarter fucking century. um they'll have had exclusivity longer than they didn't have it actually by that point, which is like ridiculous, but but
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
just can't with that
yeah,
company
it's a
and with
bummer.
that league, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, um, that's gonna be it for us, guys. If you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, subscribe to the show, whatever feed you're listening to it on, and please subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so by sending us an email to the playerstake01 at gmail.com. Montreal and I are going to be doing a spoiler cast for Trails in the Sky, first chapter, as well. But this is kind of the official end of the show here. So So yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye. All right, Montreal. So we're here. Trails in the Sky, first chapter, spoiler cast. We can kind of take this any direction you want. Where do you want to begin? You want to talk about gameplay, story,
We can
or
start with
preference?
gameplay. Yeah, we
Gameplay.
can start
Okay.
with gameplay.
Yeah, which I mean, we've touched about on gameplay a lot. I think in the normal show, so this we're not going to talk too deeply about this, but um, like I said, I am on my second playthrough now, playing on Nightmare, and I like the game is not the game has not gotten boring for me yet. Like I'm still having fun with the gameplay. The higher difficulty is certainly bringing some newer elements into the game that I hadn't really um messed with in the first playthrough. Like I'm really having to use like pay attention to like impeding enemies when they're charging an attack or casting a spell, or really focusing on like when to delay enemies and when not to delay them, and actually using S crafts is a lot more in depth now because they cause such a high delay on your characters that sometimes they're not the best idea to use per se.
Yeah.
So I am appreciating the depth of the combat system. There's definitely more to it with the higher difficulties as well. Um, there is a lot of I don't know. There's just a lot of strategy to it. I like it a lot. I do think it, like at its core, it's very simple to learn though, which I think is really good for like a newer player, like somebody who hasn't played a lot of JRPGs or certainly hasn't played Trails before. I think it's very easy to learn the game because I think the combat system is very like simple at on its face, So
Well, I think it's more engaging than
yeah,
more traditional turn-based RPG. You have a lot more control over your turns, a lot more turn
yeah,
manipulation, like you mentioned, the delays and the impedes and stuff like that. Also,
yeah,
stat manipulation,
yes, buffs, debuffs,
position
yeah,
buffs, yeah, buffs, debuffs, and like positional manipulation. Whereas, like you're playing like a traditional JRPG, like maybe um
hmm
Persona or Expedition 33 or something like that. You can't move the characters around as much.
yeah,
So you can't really, affect how their stats are going to be and everything like that nature. It really does blend the tactical JRPG or the strategy JRPG tactical sense of it and
hmm
like the traditional JRPG. It blends those together like kind of seamlessly actually.
yeah,
Um
yeah,
and I think they did a really good job at emulating like the grid base that it came from because it was grid based before, and then turning it into what it is now. And I actually like that a lot.
yeah,
And I think that's what I liked about it the most were the fights. It was just um like the things that you were experiencing on like Nightmare, I was experiencing a hard mode. So maybe you're just like really better than me as far as
yeah.
that.
I didn't really have. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like, it's really funny. Like, I didn't really even know what MP did until the last boss. Like,
Really? Holy
dude,
shit, dude.
I never had to care about it. Like, most of the fights were easy enough where I really didn't struggle. Like, the last boss was the only one where I really mattered because he has that one shot attack
Yeah.
that he does that he charges, so you can interrupt it, and you have to interrupt it basically, or you lose the fight essentially. So um up until that point, like I remember reading impede and I was like, what is impede? I didn't care though. It didn't The game never challenged me enough where I really needed to utilize it, so I didn't really learn it until that moment basically. I understood
Yeah.
what delay did. It's pretty
Yeah.
obvious actually, because like the interface shows you the turn order and the changes that would come from you using the ability. But yeah, it's funny. I don't. I think the way I built my party out, when I finally made Joshua a tank the way you had talked about you doing, he just became like unkillable in on hard mode in your first playthrough, and it didn't really matter what else I did basically. So like it just, I don't know, it just got to a point where it was like the enemies they couldn't do enough damage where it was like threatening the party ever.
Yeah.
But I will say on Nightmare that is not true, bro. There's a lot of one shots. going around. It's brutal. Even normal enemies, like normal enemies, if they happen to hit you, they will take like a third to half your health probably just with like a normal basic attack. You know,
Damn, that's
um,
crazy.
so it definitely ratchets up the difficulty a lot. You know, I mean, the thing is, most of your characters, their evasion stat is going to be so high, kind of naturally, that and through the gear you're wearing and stuff and the ornaments and stuff, that you're going to be dodging a lot of attacks in even on Nightmare. But it's in situations where you can't dodge, like where they use an attack that can't be dodged or something, where you
Yeah.
start kind of running into issues where they'll be one shotting you and stuff, bosses in particular. So and that's kind of where the strategy comes in, is making sure your party's buffed enough where they either don't get one shot, or if they do get one shot, your character's immediately going next or something. Like you need to kind of manipulate your speed status a lot as well.
Yeah.
I am learning how important having a high speed on everybody is. You know, it's
Yep.
like you kind of want everyone to be very high speed in this game. So because like some of the bosses, I mean, they're at the point where like they're kind of at Joshua's level of speed inherently a lot of the time. And if your characters aren't, if you haven't given them any speed increases, like they're going to be so slow. Like they're literally going to be going half as much as the boss does, which is bad. So yeah, no, there's definitely depth to the statistical systems and stuff, and learning this stuff. And I think that's where a game's difficulty should do what this game is doing to me, you know, where I'm like really having to like dig in and kind of learn what stats are the most important and stuff. That's where I get kind of frustrated with difficulty in games sometimes, where that doesn't really challenge you to that degree, you know, where it's not like forcing you to learn all the game systems, you know. Um
Yeah, they
so
insert a lot of like artificial difficulty,
mhm.
which was kind of my problem with like Expedition 33. It was just like a health buff and that was it, and a
Yeah,
damage buff.
yeah.
But it wasn't, you really didn't really engage with the system that much, if that makes any sense.
Right, right. Yeah, and in this game, it's not just damage and health, right? It's like it's their enemy speed and
Yeah.
you know, the way they use their abilities and stuff, and how you can interrupt them and things. Like you kind of end up learning how to manipulate enemies so they don't get a turn for a while, you know. And that's really the key to the gameplay, is trying to make sure that like your party gets like 4 turns in a row and the enemy doesn't even get to go, you know. That's how you really get good at the gameplay, to the point where you're able to handle Nightmare, you know. So
Yeah,
um
exactly. I agree.
I I think that's where the fun of it comes in for sure. So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if I have much more to say about it. I will say the hyper speed mode that you can turn on is a fucking godsend, dude. Like holy shit. It saves you so much time running around. You know, cuz you're running like at 3x speed or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's great. I pretty much have it on all the time. The only time I plan to turn it off is certain boss fights that I really want to like savor again, you know.
Okay.
But for the most part, I have it on all the time during combat, out of combat, because it just speeds up the animations. Like, you know, it's like 2 or 3x speed or something. So, um, that's really nice. I love that they have that feature in the game. I also like that you can skip all the cutscenes as well, which is nice, because a lot of JRPGs do not do that, which is like kind of a cardinal sin for a game that expects you to play it more than once. You know, it's like your story's not that good, bro. Like nobody's story is that good where you forcing me to watch it again is something that I'm gonna find appealing. You know, it's like so.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I would be playing it at like 2x or 3x speed. My Nightmare playthrough. But yeah, I don't know. I think the gameplay is really cool. I think that's one of the main things that grabbed me off the game. That in the art style. I mean, I know it's like a traditional JRPG or anime style, but I don't know. They put a lot of money behind this. You can tell they put more money behind this game compared
Yeah,
to their other games. But even still, I want to go back and play their old games as well.
yeah.
Um, but
So
like,
are you gonna do that actually,
I
or
think I
you're
am.
gonna
I
wait?
think I'm going to play for this series. I'm going to play this series out to its fruition. But I do want to play like some of the other lands, if that makes any sense. Like Trails of the Sky, or not Trails of the Sky, but Cold Steel and everything of that nature. So I do
Yeah.
want to play
Yeah,
those.
yeah. Okay.
Um, those are a little bit more modern.
They
Um,
are. They're
so
PS3 at least. I think Cold
yeah,
Steel started on PS3.
so yeah, I want to play those to see what's going on. I think those are available on Steam, and then like the other two are available on PlayStation. At least the last two that just came out are available on PlayStation. I think
Yeah.
Cold Steel 1 and 2 are on Steam. So I do want to go back and play those. I've been going back and forth if I want to play like the old ones, like the PSP ones. I gotta find an emulator for it and everything. Um, I don't know if I want to.
They're on Steam as well.
They're on Steam as well. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. Trails in the Sky. First chapter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We all know first chapters here. Holy shit, there's so much DLC. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Yeah, this is the original version of the first game is on Steam.
Okay.
SC and then the third, those are all on Steam. So we can play this series if we wanted to on Steam. Um I'm not sure. I don't know, dude. I'm not sure I want to. Like, I kind of want to wait for this remakes to come out, you know?
Are they remaking
Um,
all of them, or are they just remaking?
well, I mean, of the first three, the original trilogy, which I think
Okay.
is what they're, I'm going to assume they're committed to that. Because like getting into the ending a little bit, that trailer they showed at the end of the game that is clearly like obviously they're showing you a preview of Trails in the Sky SC, which is the second game. And it's like a whole bunch of like already done cutscenes and voice acting and shit, and I'm like, there's no way they built this just for like a teaser trailer. Like they're making this game already. So I'm pretty convinced they're already working on it, and they've been working on it for a while probably. So I kind of assume the second remake is going to be out within a year, I hope. um and then maybe the third a year after that potentially,
Hmm.
which would be pretty nice. So I don't know if because otherwise, if that's not true and we have to wait longer, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I have the patience. Like, I do want to know what happens next. The game,
Yeah, I
like,
think I think for this particular, I'll call it like
trilogy.
series
Yeah.
trilogy. I'm gonna wait. But like the other ones, I think I'm gonna dive into them and be like and just
Yeah,
play
I'm
them
just
or whatever.
afraid there's going to be spoilers in those games, though, for
Yeah,
this
that's
trilogy.
true.
So I don't know. Like, I don't want to touch any of them until I've finished this first set, because like some of them I do think happen concurrently with what's going on in this game to some degree, but I don't know how much of a degree that is. Um, so and I don't want to go look into it because obviously I'm afraid of spoilers. So I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation, but I guess that kind of gets us into the story, though, Montrell. I mean, I think we both think the gameplay is really good, but I think the thing that's really drawn us both into this game is the storyline of this game, and I think your opinion of it halfway through is going to be different from your opinion of it at the end. Um, I still feel the way I did about the early parts of the game. I really like the kind of you know like you explained, like you were describing it, like the different anime arcs you go through in the first like 3 chapters or
Yeah.
4 chapters. I do find it interesting though, playing through the game, like how many seeds of the later part of the story are kind of sown though early on. um you start seeing the intelligence division guys as early as the second chapter, chapter 1 with the sky pirates, because you remember they like met them at the lake or whatever.
Oh
um
yeah, you're
and
right.
I forgot like how much Lieutenant Lawrence is actually in the game. Like, because he's there, he's the one talking to Josette and Kyle, and then you see him later in chapter 2. He's the one who saves the kids at the orphanage with and the mother at the orphanage. He's at the play as well, that Joshua then chases him, or whatever, and isn't able to catch him. And then he's also at the very end of the chapter, between chapters, when Agate is chasing the intelligence officer guys, or intelligence division guys. He's the one who
Yeah.
steps in and stops him from capturing them, or whatever. So he was all over the place actually early in the game. you don't necessarily know who he is, the first time through, but like going back and in playing it again, there's a lot of setup for these guys actually that sets up what they do later in the game. So I do think they did a really good job with that actually in retrospect. It doesn't feel like the narrative's coming out of nowhere later in the game, I guess is what
Yeah,
I should
that's
say.
true. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, the only one I didn't like, and I know you probably disagree with me. I did not like the Ruhan region. I think that's what I didn't
The
like.
third chapter.
Third, that's the Zeiss region, isn't it? Zeiss is
No,
the
Zeiss
third
is the
chapter.
fourth one. Are you talking about?
Really?
So Ruan's the region that was on the coast with the port town or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was the second chapter. That's not the second
No.
chapter.
Well, no. Well, I'm saying so. There's 5 chapters, but the first chapter is the prologue. It's not a named number chapter.
Okay.
It's still a chapter, so I consider that there's 5 chapters in the game, but
Oh,
there's
you
prologue.
you're counting that as the first chapter. I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
basically, and there's chapters 1 through 4 after that, but there's 5 total chapters in the game,
Yeah.
basically.
So yeah, the Ruhan chapter I really did not enjoy. I mean, there was a lot of
So yeah, to be clear, Ruan's the one with the Genis Royal Academy, the orphanage getting burned
correct.
down,
Yes, I hate.
the mayor being exposed as a scumbag. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I absolutely hated that chapter.
Really? Why?
Um, the entire chapter. Obviously, it pays off at the end. You know what
Yeah.
everything's going on at the end. But in the time being, your first playthrough, it feels like a filler chapter. It
Yeah.
feels like a Naruto filler arc. Like that's what I legitimately thought this was like a filler arc. I didn't even think we were
That's
going to visit these people
funny.
again.
That's funny.
Uh,
Okay.
I felt like the princess, her name's Chloe. I
Yeah.
just the whole school arc in the fucking like it was funny and cool. It was like no, not whimsical, but it was like silly or whatever. And I thought it was like cool, but I also was like, why am I here? Like I don't know. Like this
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
we're bracers. Like why the fuck are we
Well,
in school?
Agate like just pulls tenure on you and says you guys aren't going to be involved in this.
Yeah,
Halfway
he
through,
takes us out to have
halfway
the
through.
action.
Is that why
You
you
know what I'm
don't
saying?
like him? Is that why you don't like him?
I
Yeah.
think that's why I don't like him, dude. Like I like that chapter really like made me hate him because he was just like, "Oh, you kids are in my fucking way." And I'm like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. Who are you?" Like, "Oh, you little scumbags." This is like, dude, all right, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, I just didn't like his character until the end of that, until the end of the Rice chapter.
I see.
Or the
Okay.
yeah, I
Because
didn't.
overall, I actually do like Agate, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like him. I didn't like him until the end.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't agree with you about this chapter. I like chapter 2. Like
I knew you were
I
disagreeing with
know
me, though.
I know what you mean about it feeling like filler, but I was kind of vibing with the game, and I think the takeaway I have for this game is like things get serious in the final chapter for sure, but there's like a fun adventure vibe to the whole game though that I don't think the ending really takes away from it. It's like this is like a really innocent journey that doesn't have any urgency for a long part of it, you know? And I
Yeah,
kind of like that about the game, that it isn't like the world's ending fucking, there's like volcanoes coming out of the fucking ground, there's none of that bullshit, gods come to smite us, or any of that nonsense. It's a very down to earth game, and I really like that, and that's why I don't like. I felt the way you did by chapter 3 in Zeiss. I didn't really like Zeiss because I was like,
really?
okay. I was like, we've done this 3 times now, and I'm like, we're getting towards the end of the game, bro. Are you gonna like reveal what's actually going on anytime soon? And dude, it wasn't until the very end of that region that you learn anything about anything going on, and it's just like that
That's
whole chapter to me is
crazy.
just like waste. Like I feel I did not like that chapter. That's my least favorite chapter for sure.
I thought you would like that chapter the most. You get a lot of lore.
Nah, not no. It just takes way too long for you to get it. Like you spend 80% of that chapter just running around, going to the fucking hot springs, and what I don't. It's just
I don't know. I like that chapter. I like that chapter because you learn about the ornaments. You learn how they're made. You learn a lot
yeah,
about like
yeah,
honestly the economy, and then like their experience, like how they just like technology wise, they went the total opposite, not the opposite way, but there's like a clear delineage in what they went with the technology because they even talked about
Steam engines and
centuries ago they had steam engines, they had gas and everything like that, and then they
yeah.
discovered ordnance and they were like, oh, we're gonna go with this or whatever. And I just thought that chapter was like super interesting. What I didn't like was the end of that fucking chapter. I didn't like what's the little girl's name?
Tita.
Tito?
I don't.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I don't like Tita at all. Like,
I
I'm
like the
sorry.
character as like
The voice
the
actress. No, dude. There's the voice actress. I don't know her name, but her voice has become so distinct to me that I know I can pick her out of fucking 100 voices. You know, and she speaks the same way with every character she plays. You know, and I can't stand it. Like, I can't. Like, it just drives me fucking crazy. Her name is Brianna Knickerbocker, I think is her name. And
I'm sorry,
what a name. That's a crazy last name. But dude, the way she talks is just like I don't know. There's just a way her cadence is that just like annoys the shit out of me, you know? It's like she's talking to like somebody she doesn't know every time she's speaking a line, you know? You know that like polite voice you bring out when you're meeting somebody new for the first time? Like she does that all the time. Every line she speaks, it's that same cadence all the time, no matter what character.
She's supposed to be like a fucking 12-year-old or something like that, right?
Not even. She's like 9 or 8 or fucking whatever. I don't know. But it's just no. But that's the thing. I've heard this voice actress in other games for other characters, and she talks the same exact way. So I don't know. I'm not gonna give her credit here just because the character fits the voice she's doing. You know.
Speaking of that chapter, the voice actress for that chapter, for fucking okay, so you know the guild person, right? I forgot her name. She's Mirage for the Zeiss chapter.
Yeah.
She's Mirage from Apex. I was like,
okay.
I recognize that fucking voice. I was like, that voice is very familiar. And I was like, I played because I used to play Mirage and
wait,
in
Mirage
the game.
or
not Mirage. I'm sorry, Catalyst.
You're thinking about Catalyst.
No.
Oh, okay, Catalyst. Okay.
Yeah, Catalyst.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
I used to play Catalyst a lot, and yeah, I was like, that voice actress sounds very familiar, and yeah, it was the same voice actress. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. That's probably why I liked it. There was a lot of aspects of that chapter I liked. I was just like,
yeah,
I didn't mind Tita as well. Like I thought her.
She's such a terrible character in combat too. She's awful. She's like the worst
for me,
character.
Her evasion stuff was really good. But yeah, outside of that chapter, once you get your speed and evasion up,
yeah,
like once you get it maxed out or really high, she's useless. And
well, because Chloe has Visara that she can use on the party that gives everybody foresight, which I believe gives everyone like 60% evasion or whatever.
Yeah.
So like you don't, and Chloe's like a way better spellcaster than anybody else in the game, you know?
Yep.
So it's like she's just way better in general. Like I just think Tita like sucks. I don't know. I mean, obviously she's the kid character, so it kind of makes sense. But it's
towards the end of that chapter though.
Yeah,
the end of that chapter, man. When she came out of nowhere and like disrupted the plan.
Yeah,
like Agate got shot because of it. I was like, this little bitch. I literally said that shit out loud. I was like, oh my god, this little bitch. Like, why the fuck was you? We told you to stay downstairs. We told you to stay downstairs.
Agate like fucking yelled at her, bro. Like, it was like, you're gonna get in the way. Don't come. You know. And she's like, no, I'm not. And then she proceeds to get in the way. You know, like.
Yeah, and I was kind of upset. Like I liked Agate at that time. That's when I understood his character a little bit more. But then fucking your main character's like, oh, she's just a little kid and everything. I'm like, no, bro. She stood like Estelle and Joshua was like, oh man, like Joshua was like, I understand why Agate's mad. But then Estelle was like, oh, she's just a little kid. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, she's a reason we have to go through this entire fucking thing again now, bro. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she's like this. It was so annoying. Like a lot of the things wouldn't have happened if she never showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah. No, there were some things like that in the game that annoyed me too. Like the Sky Pirates in the first 2 chapters. Like throwing a smoke grenade like 3 different times and getting away. I'm just like, dude, how many times are you fuckers gonna fall for this? Like, why? Like, I remember in the last one where you fight the three of them together, the three siblings, and then they do that. They throw the grenade and they start running away. And there's a line in there where Olivia is like, "Oh, it's getting up my nose," and I'm like, dude. They're running away. What are you doing? Why are you just standing here? I'm just like, I got so fucking annoyed about it. It's so like,
So I will
it's
say
so anime, bro.
I did do some like reading or whatever because somebody complained about the same thing on Reddit because this is
Mhm.
their first Trails game. And people
Yeah.
were like, "You better get used to it, buddy, because this is a common trope in the game." I was
Really?
like,
Oh
"Yeah."
no. Oh no. Yeah, because I was like, dude, it was like the first time I get it. The second time, maybe I still even get it, right? Because it was a different person doing it. The third time, you've got these people cornered in a room with one entry and exit. Like, how are you letting them get away? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was getting very annoyed by that too.
And all of
I
that just so you can have the army come in and steal the fucking, steal the
Oh my
credit,
god,
basically.
that
You know?
shit irritated the fuck out of me too, bro. You know what? That I think that's what pissed me off about chapter 3 as well. Like you go through all that bullshit, you catch the mayor, then the army's like, we here for a job, or like the Secret Service, or where the fuck they are, or the Royal Army, or the Royal Queen's Guard comes in, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we
Yeah.
took it from here, and it's like, bro, like, come on, stop that shit. Like it's annoying as fuck. And then you do it in
Right.
chapter 3 as well. Chapter 3, you go through all that bullshit. They're like, I mean, obviously there was a conspiracy behind it though, but like you go through all that bullshit and you're like, oh yeah, we're taking it over from here. And it's like, bro, are you fucking serious? Like, I don't know. I understand it's very anime and everything, but that shit pissed me the fuck off, bro. You go through all that
Yeah.
work and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
these characters still aren't dead. And then even like the chapter 4 and chapter 5, um, like you defeat well, I guess getting ahead of myself, right? The intelligence
That's
division.
fine.
You want to talk about them?
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna jump around and ask about characters. So yeah, if you want to talk about them, that's fine. I was gonna ask about the villains. Like, how do you feel about the villains? I guess in the game.
I thought the villains were really good. I actually didn't know. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know where they were going with like the intelligence division and all that other
Yeah.
shit like
Did you
that.
figure out something was fishy there, or did it take until they revealed it where you were like, okay, what the fuck? Like,
Um,
did you suspect something was going on there, or
chapter 3, at the end of chapter 3, or not the end of it, but like when the soldiers left and they left in like the intelligence division stuff or whatever. That's when I
yeah,
was like, this doesn't seem right or whatever. Um, and I don't
yeah,
know, Agate saying that he's been chasing them for a while, and he just never got. He always got close, but never close enough to it, and there was always something
yeah,
blocking him.
yeah,
It was just
yeah?
really weird.
When it for me, it was chapter 2 when you go find the Lind in the mine, um, and you fight Kyle for the first time, and he gets away or whatever. He says that something about like this wasn't part of the plan. You know, you
Oh
guys were
yeah, he
be
does say
here this
that.
early, and I was like, he said something else too that kicked me off. That like, oh, the military's involved in some way. Is like
Yeah.
there's so this is like an inside job of some sort. That I didn't know who was perpetrating it at that point. If it was General Morgan or what other people that we meet later. But I did actually have a suspicion about General Morgan for a while because he hated Bracer so much.
Yeah.
And he was so easy to want to blame you that it felt really convenient that it was like, oh yeah, this is a great cover for him if he's fucking betraying the country or whatever. So, but eventually he wasn't involved though later in the game. So I was kind of like, it probably isn't him, but I did think the military was involved at least to some degree, um, at a certain point, but, so I think the story's pretty well done in that regard. Like, I think the breadcrumbs are there for you to figure it out. Um, but, they don't give you too much where it's obvious, I think, I guess is the where I liked it. But what about like Colonel Richard and Captain Amalthea though? Do you like them as villains, or did they fall flat for you at the end of the game?
Colonel Richards is the blonde hair guy that looks like Virgil,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
I actually liked them a lot. I did like them. I actually like Colonel Richards a lot because the first chapter when like the soldiers are talking down to you, he's like taking up for you and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for shit like that or whatever. So I liked him a lot, and I was actually very shocked. Well, not shocked. I was like, no, not you, man. Like, not you, bro. Come on, man. Like, I wanted you to be
Yeah.
like the good guy or whatever. um, but I actually like how they planned everything out. It made sense, to be honest with you. How
Yeah.
like they blamed the royal guard and everything, and then they did the coup and all that shit. Like the plot was really, really good. Actually, like I said, I like the political element. It wasn't a huge political element, but I like it, and I like how they had to
Well,
navigate stuff.
his reasoning was very political for what he did, because like you were talking about the technological aspect that we learned about in Zeiss or whatever, and whole reason he's doing the coup is because he doesn't believe that they are prepared for the eventuality that everybody catches up to their technological advantage that they have.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what he's worried about, and that's why he wants to take over and build them into like a military machine. Basically, is his whole plan. And I like that. I think it makes sense. Like I think his methods were kind of extreme, obviously, at the end of the day, but the queen being who she is and the way she is, I can see how he would get frustrated probably working with her, though, where he suggests these things and she just doesn't do any of them because that's not the type of nation she wants to run, you know? Um
Yeah, and you know what? Like the overall, I actually like that. I like that. I mean, I guess in a sense you can say it was kind of like a world-ending thing, but not really. Like I like that the motivation was like I just want a better nation. It wasn't like I'm trying to rule the world and take over the kingdom and stuff like that. It was like
right.
no, I'm genuinely doing this for a good reason, and it's because Liberia, liberal, is not prepared compared to like the states of Kalar and
Yeah, they're a small nation compared to the others.
yeah, and they say that, and he even mentions like when your father left, that left a huge hole in the military. Like I didn't know how to fill that hole, like at all. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy to me. Well, it's not crazy to me, but he was just like when he left, bro. Like I don't know. It's like it's almost like Jordan leaving the fucking '96 Bulls, like it's or McGray or not, or fucking
Yeah.
Tom Brady leaving the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Like they left a hole in that thing where it's just
Yeah.
like you can't fill it anymore. Like we have to try something new, or we're gonna get left behind. We can't just depend on your dad all the time, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I also like her dad. Well, I like Estelle's reaction to how everybody was talking about her dad because,
Yeah, she
like,
knew so little about his past. It's crazy how like he just like didn't tell her anything basically. Cause like everybody's talking about him like he's a fucking legendary figure, and she's like, "Huh? Like what?" It is funny. It is pretty funny.
yeah, but I like Estelle too because she was just every time someone fought her that was like fighting her that fought alongside her dad, they're like, "Wow, you fight just like your dad. I can see you're going places or whatever the case may be."
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah. And I
Um,
think what about some of the other characters? I guess like some of the other party members we have. I mean, obviously we talked about Agate a little bit, Tita, Chloe, but what about like Zin later in the game, Olivier, Sherazard? How did you like those
Olivier is
characters?
my favorite character out of all of them.
Yeah,
I
played
just
by
think
Matthew Mercer.
Yeah, I just think like he's such a king, man. Like I like him.
Yeah,
He's just like a I like a not a nonchalant character, but he just goes with the flow of everything. But he's
yeah,
also like a really destructive person as well
yeah.
because he just likes to party.
Definitely, yeah, definitely, yeah, for sure.
So he's kind of a free spirit in that sense, and I don't
Yeah,
know. I like that character a lot. I thought like it was just really cool as well when he hit on Charlotte or Shara, and then he
yeah,
hit on
yeah,
Joshua, and Stella was like, "You didn't hit on me." He's like, "You're not my type. Sorry."
yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's fun. It was pretty. It was good. It was a good dynamic. The party was fun for sure. I think it is interesting how little time you have the whole party together though. It's literally just the
Yeah,
final dungeon.
Yeah.
You spend the whole rest of the game with a much smaller group for the most part. You don't even have a full party a lot of the time. Actually, playing through the game on Nightmare, that is the interesting part of how many fights you end up having to fight where you only have Joshua and Estelle.
Yeah.
And it's like that actually just inherently that makes the fight difficult because you don't have a full party, you
Yeah.
know, is interesting, like how often that happens in the game. I do kind of like that though, to some degree. I'm sure this is setting up a more traditional JRPG kind of flow in the second game, though, where you probably have a party much more often. But I kind of like that though. It's very focused on Joshua and Estelle and their kind of journey, and
And
through
it pays
liberal and
off at the end. It pays off
yeah,
a big time in the end, you know.
yeah, I agree too with that too. And I don't know. I just like the structure of the game. I think they knew what they wanted to do and they just did it. They didn't get lost in the tropes too much, Um, and I kind of appreciate that.
I think that's what I like about the game the most, man. Like, even though it has standard tropes, like yeah, like you said, like once I realized that, oh, like my party members are going to be going in and out or whatever the case may be,
Hmm. Hmm.
and my journey is with Joshua and Estelle, and I approached it like how I said before, like you're watching a an adventure anime, almost a slice of life adventure anime or whatever in
Yeah.
each arc or
Yeah.
whatever. Once I approached it like that, and I realized it was going to be like that, I was like even from the prologue, I was like dialed the fuck in. I was like, oh my god, I've been looking for like a JRPG like this because I am tired of like the shonen, like oh Cloud and my party, oh we're traveling the world together, and it's like
Yeah.
no, like
Right.
they all have their own ambitions and everything like that, and I think that's what I
Right.
love about this game. Is each character really did have their own ambitions. I mean, obviously
And
Shara,
responsibilities, right? Like
yeah,
Shara doesn't go with them because she's the main bracer and Roland, like
exactly, yeah. And then like Olivier, he obviously went to jail and he was like,
yep.
doing other crazy shit and whatever like that. And
Yeah.
then Zen, like we find out later that he was meant to come help them, but he didn't know who they were. Like he meets
Right. He
them
met them and didn't
before
know who they were. Yeah, right.
exactly.
It's just hilarious. He was just wandering around. Like
Yeah, like his father's like, yeah, go meet my daughter and my son, and you'll probably meet them
yeah.
somewhere. Whatever, go off, go help them. And he's like, yeah, okay, I will try to find them if I know what they look like. And then they didn't really meet each other like that until like the end of chapter 3 or middle end chapter 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I just thought it was really cool how um each character has their quirks. I will say I think Tina was the weakest for me. I really did not
Yeah.
care about her parents. I was just like, oh, they're not dead, they're just in another country. Okay, I guess. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean I didn't want her to be dead, but I was just like, it was just a weird storyline for her. I really didn't care. Or whatever. Uh so she was the weakest in that regard. I think I actually did like as much as I didn't like Agate, I did like his backstory, how he was like the leader of the Ravens, and then like their father came along, was like, put him in his place, and he became a bracer because of that shit or whatever. So, um,
Yeah.
I did like those tropes or whatever, and I like Zen's like kind of carefree attitude towards everything and everything of that nature. Um, even like the captain, even on the villain side, I like the uh I forgot his name, the lieutenant of the intelligence division, uh white haired guy.
Lieutenant Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence. I even like Lawrence. I like his voice. But I even like that character as well, for how mysterious he was and how serious he was even
Well,
at the end of the battle, like when you fought him
yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, let's talk about him real quick. So clearly he's a setup for a greater narrative, right?
Yeah.
Um and he was very clearly manipulating events here to go a certain way. I do find it funny that if they put a character in this game that's more powerful than the final boss you fight in Colonel Richard. Like, and Colonel Richard says it multiple times, like when they were together, was like, I'm pretty sure you could beat me in a fight, Like he
Yeah.
says that multiple times. And it's funny because, like, yeah, the fight you had, the last fight you have against Lawrence and in the castle, with I think it's Estelle, Chloe, and Sherazard.
Yeah.
Um, you do not have to win it. Like if you lose the fight, the game just continues from there.
Oh, really?
So whether you win or not, yeah. Because
I didn't
I
know that.
lost it. I lost the first time I did it. Actually, his when he went into like his rage mode, he just fucked my party up or whatever. And yeah, the game just continues from there. So you don't have to win that fight, basically. And I find it interesting that they put a character like that who's clearly more powerful than anybody else in the game, basically. And multiple characters like comment about it, and he's clearly a boss for later parts of the saga,
Yeah.
obviously. But I don't know. I really liked this character a lot. Because I mean that gets into the whole Ouroboros society thing that gets revealed at the very end of the game with the Professor Alba guy who turns out to be. So I guess should we get into the very end, like go through all that where Estelle,
Yeah, we can.
professes
Yeah.
her love and Joshua reveals his past and all that. Okay.
I will admit,
How'd you feel about all that?
okay, I will admit, I did not like that. I
Okay.
I did not like. I would have liked for them to keep them as brother and sister. I did
Yeah.
not like
The love story
the
specifically.
love
Is
story
that what
because
you're talking about? Yeah.
yeah, because like you grew up with him and he is your brother. He is your stepbrother
Yeah.
essentially.
I did
And
find that to be weird, but they pushed it so early, dude. Like it
yeah, and
started
that's what
happening really early. And
Shara was saying stuff like the first day y'all meet each other. Like she said it in the
yeah.
prologue or the
Yeah.
prologue. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're starting to
Oh
become
yeah, when
the
they're in the clock tower. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so I just thought it was weird. I'm like, I don't think they should be pushing this like this, man. Like, just let them be, you know,
But
brother and
nobody
sister.
talks about it like it's weird in the world. Like
Yeah,
it's
like they had
interesting.
the
Like
same last name. You
yeah,
know,
everybody talks about it like it's a normal thing that would happen to young people who live together, Um
and to be honest with you, I don't even think she was looking at it like that until everybody started mentioning it like that. And I'm
yeah,
like,
cuz it wasn't really until the Ruan chapter where she really started to like
look
I
at
think
him
actually
differently.
have yeah, right, until
Yeah,
she started to really develop feelings. So because I don't know. I'm kind of was in the same boat as you. I kind of accepted it for what it was by the end of the game though, because like clearly
yeah,
they're moving forward with this as a storyline, right?
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
it is what it is. Like
I accepted it, but I didn't like it. But I did accept it.
yeah. So when you accept it like I think it's fairly well done overall though, for
Yeah,
the
for
most part.
sure. It's not like
Like
thrown in your face. It's definitely like over the
no.
adventure. You can definitely tell this is like months or maybe even a couple years. Like maybe not a couple years,
Yeah.
but like maybe a
No,
whole
I think
year.
the journey. I would say the whole game takes place over like 3 to 6 months, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
I can definitely see you developing feelings and then they're obviously 16, 17. They're
right,
becoming, adults and
right,
those feelings are starting to be there. So I understand the logic behind it or whatever
yeah,
the case might be.
right,
But me as a grown adult, I'm just looking at like if I was playing this game and I was like a 16 or 17-year-old, I think it would click with me.
yeah,
Obviously. I think that would click with
yeah,
me. But like
yeah.
as a grown adult, it doesn't really click with me as
It is
much. That's how
certainly weird to the
yeah.
degree that they're brother and sister. Yes,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure. I think they kind of think they get away with it because he's not really her brother, and obviously he only lived with them for 5 years. So it's like it's like right on the edge of being weird. Like it's kind of on that line because obviously he's like a stepbrother, but you know not really. I don't know. It's like a whatever. But the actual scene though in the castle at night, Estelle's like she's kind of pumping herself up to like, tell him or whatever how she feels. And I will say that the game does a really good job of making Estelle seem very like upbeat and positive, but the vibe of the moment is extremely negative. I feel like it's super telegraphed that Joshua's about to drop a bomb on her. I feel like because like the music, I don't remember the music exactly, but it was not a very upbeat soundtrack from what I remember. I just felt like the vibe was off. I knew it was coming. And like when she reveals, how she feels, and then Joshua tells his story, I think it all makes sense the way everything plays out. Because from the moment the professor shows up and tells Joshua, kind of unlocks his memories or whatever, obviously Joshua, like, logically it makes sense, right? He was missing some memories of what happened to him
Yeah.
before he met, Estelle and Cassius. And the revelation of those memories coming back, despite what he's experienced with Estelle, changes kind of how he feels about everything, because there are other people in his life from beforehand that I think he probably remembers, had some amount of whether it's feelings for or responsibility to or something along those lines, that it just kind of changes the way he feels about the whole situation. So it makes sense to me that he would decide to leave, because he feels like he has shit to do, probably. But I mean, what did you think about his past, though? The revelations of his past, that he was part of this like organization, basically like a fucking Akatsuki esque. The
Yeah.
Naruto parallels are just endless here with this game, but
Well,
um,
I knew something was going on with him. Just because like his move sets were way different from everybody else.
yeah,
Like,
he's like an assassin, basically,
yeah,
like
and
the way he
like
plays. Yeah,
yeah, and his compared to everybody else's move sets, his move sets were a lot more darker. Like
yeah.
they were focused on like killing people and like even the names of the
Well, he
moves
had a
and
lot
stuff
of
like
he
that.
had death blow built into his crafts,
Yeah.
which is one
Um,
shot killing for.
And then once you, it was really telling or telegraphed once you got Evil Eye. And I was like, why
Yeah,
would he get Evil Eye? Like, that's really weird that he gets that move or whatever the case may be.
yeah,
So yeah, once that professor came and like kind of unlocked his memories and was like, you're a part of the Toski and or not the Toski, but the Ouroboros. And
yeah.
uh I actually I thought his backstory for like him being like, "Oh, you're just a vessel with a broken heart." I thought that was pretty whack. I'm like, this is Kingdom
It
Heartish,
is
in
kind of
my
weird.
opinion.
Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah,
weird. Yeah.
but maybe
Yeah.
that's what they were going for back then. I mean, everybody
Well,
was
we
doing
might
that kind of
learn
like.
more about it too in future games. So
That's true. Yeah. So, I thought that was pretty weird, but it was like the I knew it moment, for me, and I'm kind of glad that happened. Uh, I don't know if I'm okay with the professor being who he is, though. I thought he was just
okay,
going to be.
did you not know who I clocked this guy so early in the game that something was off about this dude. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I
There
knew
was a
something was off.
scene, I don't remember where it was in the game, but there's a scene where he opens his eyes while he's talking, because he usually has his eyes closed,
Yeah,
right?
and they were
He,
gold.
he opens his eyes, no, and they're red.
Oh,
And
they were red.
the look he gave to Joshua was so dark. At that moment, I was like, okay, this guy's not who he says he is. There's no fucking way, bro. Like, I don't know.
No, it was
I didn't buy it. I didn't
by
buy it.
this by the second tower. I'm like, okay, dude, because you
Yeah,
leave
how
him
does
at
he even
almost every
get
time.
there? How does he get
Exactly.
there?
We fought
Yeah.
all these like, and I remember. I don't know if it was the second or third tower, but I remember the second. I think it was the second tower.
Mm-hmm.
I got up there and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you went through all these. He's like, oh, I normally just run past the monsters. No, you're fighting these monsters, dude. You're killing these
Yeah.
monsters. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, I had to fight to get up here, and you
Yeah.
didn't. Like, get the fuck out of here. Um, it was that moment. I actually thought like this is what I thought. And this is stupid, but I thought it was like their father in disguise or something like that. And he's kind of like
Yeah.
watching over them, doing some stuff on the side, but like kind of watching over them or whatever.
Mm.
That's what I thought was going to happen. But
Well,
that's why I was totally thrown for a loop for that.
yeah. Well,
When
when you play through the game again, there's certain scenes that are worth paying attention to. Like when
mhm.
you meet the professor in Roland, when you go to the tower for the first time, do you remember when Joshua like loses his he like gets like really exhausted for a second and they have to like take a break at the top of the tower or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was because he recognized the professor subconsciously, I think.
Oh
And
shit.
he had a physical reaction to it, um
Yeah.
but the game doesn't overtly tell you that, obviously. So I'm just kind of inferring that, but
Well,
I like it.
even in that moment too, Josh was like, "You can come out now. I can feel you." Like nobody else felt
Yeah,
his presence but
right,
Joshua.
right, yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
there's a lot of little hints in there. I think the game does a really good job of like dropping this stuff, throughout the game.
Yeah.
and kind of giving you this stuff. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think the setup for the second game though, like I'm all here for it. I love the idea that Joshua runs away and everybody, Estelle's obviously heartbroken and everybody.
And my
I'm
thing is
assuming the
like,
second game starts right from where the first one left off, probably.
yeah, and my thing is like, is the father gonna help find Joshua or no?
Probably not. I'm gonna assume not, given the fact that he's part of the military again.
Oh yeah, he is part of the military again.
Um, and he's like gonna help like rebuild everything. I would assume not. So, um, but
Cassius Bright.
Cassius Bright, yeah. So yeah, no, I do think the setup for the second game is extremely intriguing. Obviously, it is his Sasuke arc that he's partially already gone through. um, which is interesting. It is funny. The parallels are hilarious there.
I mean, this game did come out in 2004. That was like peak
Yeah,
Naruto.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it
Yeah,
in a way though where they weren't like straight up copying,
yeah,
the
obviously.
storyline.
Yeah.
So I think it works fine, but yeah, no, I don't know. I think the story is very interesting. I will say, like, the things with Joshua is very interesting if you watch some of the scenes early in the game again too. Like, he's very weird in certain points. Like, I think the memory thing is the thing I have the most confusion about, is like, what didn't he remember and what did he remember? Because the professor says that like there were certain memories that were blocked or whatever, but it
I
wasn't
don't think he
everything.
I don't think he remembered his task to get close to them. Like, I don't think he remembered, like, he remembered his task. Like, I think so. I know what you're talking about too. I think he remembers that he tried to kill Cassius.
Yeah,
I think he remembered
right.
that part, but
I
I don't
think
think
I think so too. But I don't
I
think he
don't think
remembered the society at all.
I don't think
Like,
he remembers society, and I don't think he remembered the second part of his mission, which was when they met. Because you remember, the professor said they met at certain points as well during your adventure. He met Joshua and
yes.
gave him like intel, and I think he did something to them where he was subconsciously giving them intel, like, okay, I still need you to watch Estelle and all this other stuff like that and everything like that, and then kind of erasing, like, almost kind of like Men in Black, erasing his memory, part of his
Yeah.
memory,
Right. But
but
it's
he was
not
still,
clear when that any of that ever happens because we never see it throughout the game.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
So yeah, so that's the part that's confusing because Joshua's reaction to a lot of moments is really weird in retrospect, knowing that his memory's been altered. Because he does react to certain characters like he knows who they are, like Chloe in particular. Like, I think he knew that. I don't know if he knew she was the princess, but he knew she wasn't who she said she was.
yeah. I think he's just
Because
very
perceptive. Yeah,
perceptive. Yeah, he always had like a very good percept. Everybody always mentions that too, like, you're very perceptive or whatever. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. But so it's definitely weird. They definitely. I think they played fast and loose with the memory stuff of what he knew and what he didn't know. But yeah. So I don't know. I think it all works together pretty well though. I'm very interested in learning more about the that organization or whatever and kind of what they're trying to do, and that kind of, I'm assuming, will introduce us to the greater narrative of the continent, um going on. So yeah. What else, Montreal? Anything else you want to talk about here? Um did you like the tournament? That was
actually,
actually
yeah, I
one of my
do like it.
that was probably one of my favorite parts of the game, actually. I love that they make you watch the matches happen in
Yeah,
gameplay. I love that. I love that. Like, I was like, they're really doing this, huh? Like, they're gonna make us watch all of our opponents' matches in gameplay combat. Like, I was
well, it
like,
gives you
okay,
like information on how to fight them. So I
a
knew how
little
to
bit,
fight.
yeah.
I knew how to fight one of the teams. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the ninja guy out first, or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
So, like, yeah, I think that was really cool. And it just solidified that I'm like, this is, I don't know, man. Like, they meant for this to be an anime. They were like, you're gonna turn this to a fucking video game. Think about a tournament arc. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. Yeah, and it was a significant portion of that chapter too. I mean, it was days. Like, dude, it probably took 10 hours probably to get through all that, 5 to 10 hours. Like,
yeah, yeah,
because like you go into the sewer between those things, they give you the sewer keys or whatever that you're supposed to go
yeah.
level up and stuff, and then you have to go do like a bunch of bracer jobs actually before the fights as well. So it's like, yeah, you're doing a lot of shit in that portion of the game, um but yeah. um what else? Yeah, I mean, Cassius, what do you think of Cassius? Like, he seems
He was definitely their get out of jail free card, but I like how they only use it twice.
well, he was the OP character that they had to take out of the narrative to make any of it happen.
Yeah,
Because like multiple characters said, like, if Cassius was in the country when they were trying to do this, like, he would have just shut it down, like. So, it is funny that they like acknowledge the fact that they literally wrote him out of the story, basically.
Well, I like how they said, like, we set up a diversion so that he can go
Mhm,
check that out of the
mhm.
country or whatever the case may be. And then
Yep.
he came back or whatever. But I do like how, like, everybody was like trained by him, and I'm like, damn, like, especially when you're going against Richardson, like his fucking sword moves were like fucking cold as shit. And I'm like, dude, he reminds me of
Yeah.
Virgil from fucking Devil May Cry. And
Yeah.
and like everybody's like, yeah, he taught me this. And it's like he taught three people like three different styles of the sword. I'm like, damn, man, how many versions of the
I
sword
know
do you know, bro?
this dude knows how to use fucking like a pole weapon, sword. He's got multiple different sword styles. He knows, like.
Yeah, because that one girl, she fought with it was a rapier, and then
Yep.
I think another dude fought with a cutlass,
Yep.
and then obviously Colonel Richards fought with a katana.
Yep.
So I was just like, I'm like, that's, and then obviously Estelle fought with her pole arm or whatever. But even like Joshua said, like, yeah, he taught me some moves or whatever. I'm like, damn, what the fuck, dude? Like I don't know, man. He was the OP character in the game, and I don't know. I don't think you're going to see any more of him though. I would like to have a game with him though.
Okay.
Like
My question though for you: do you think he's gonna die at some point in the series,
probably the third game,
or
probably.
later maybe? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
this
it could
series is
be one of the others,
13,
one of the other
14
regions.
games.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, you
Right.
get some like news, like Cassius is dead. Cassius Bright is dead, or whatever the case may
Or
be.
something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna imagine a lot of the characters we meet in this first trilogy are gonna be spread throughout all the games to some degree. Because many of them come from different regions. Like, I mean, Olivier's from Erebonia, Zin's
Mm-hmm.
from Calvard. So I would assume we will see some of these characters again in other games, but I don't know. It's interesting. I'm kind of excited to. I'm very excited to play more. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I like the series. They get this is a really good. This game is a really good setup for a narrative that goes this long. As long as it did, or as long as it does. I'm excited to learn more and see more of these characters and play more of the games. So yeah. Um, anything else, Montreal, you want to talk about here?
Well, no, that's it.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think we need to go too crazy with it. It's a fun game. Enjoyed it a lot. I think the story is really good. I think it is worth playing through a couple times actually to pick up on some of the things you might not have picked up on the first time because you just didn't have context for them. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's a great game overall. Really good JRPG. I think if you've not played a JRPG before, this is a great one to jump in on. Actually, I think the gameplay is straightforward enough where you can learn it pretty easily, and I also think the story is pretty straightforward for the most part. For a long time as well. Um, so yeah.
I will say if you guys are planning to play this, so you can play Code Steel, or you can play Daybreak. It doesn't necessarily spoil Code Steel, but it does have overlapping events with Code Steel, but it does not spoil Chapter 1 or 2 or 3. So you can play
Oh,
that
really?
series. So I might play that. um, I don't know about Code Steel yet. I think Code Steel may spoil whatever, but I'm about to check it out. But that is one thing yet that you guys can play. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the timeline of the games. It's actually not that long of a timeline. um, There's only 7 in-universe years between the first game and the latest game to come out. So, so this will be very interesting. Cool.
All right, so
All right.
I will say, don't play Cold Steel 1 though. That does spoil stuff that's in the Trails of the Sky arc.
Okay.
It doesn't have
There you
major
go.
plots, but it would ruin some stuff.
Well,
So,
I think that's the reason why I'm wary, because like you're gonna play that game, right, and it's just gonna casually mention something that you should already know, you know,
yeah.
like assuming that you already know it, like, you know, oh yeah, the thing in Liberal that happened, you know, blah 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 blah, you know, and it's like, like wait, what? What do you mean? Um, so yeah, I'm gonna try to play them in order personally. So I'm gonna be patient, I think, for now. Because I think the thing about playing the old version of the games is, I mean, from what I've heard, the quality of life stuff that they've added with this, you know, remake is
Mhm.
significant. You know, a lot of the side stuff in the game is not telegraphed the way it is in this one. You know, the older ones
Oh,
just kind
okay.
of, they kind of expect you to just wander around and talk to NPCs, you know, all the time, and you know, nobody's got time for that, bro. So
You're right. The whole series takes place over like 6 years.
yeah, which is interesting. So clearly, yeah, there's some overlapping events that start happening between all the games for sure. Um, so
I don't know. I think this is a really cool world that they built. It's
yeah, I
unlike
agree.
any other JRPG I played. Usually, like a lot of JRPGs are, their own thing. I mean, the only one that can come close to me is like Xenoblade Chronicles,
Yeah.
um, which I've have heard people say for some strange reason. Like a lot of people who play Xenoblade Chronicles love this series as well. So maybe because we
Well,
have taste and quality,
yeah,
you
I
know.
think so. We like quality storylines, you know. So we'll see. I mean, we're gonna talk about these games as we play them, of course, guys.
Yeah.
So you know, we'll probably have more spoiler casts to come over the years as we play through these. So all right, Montreal. Well, thank you for joining me today, and enjoyed talking about this game with you. Enjoyed the game in general. So yeah, that'll be it, guys. We hope you enjoyed this, and we'll be back next week. Bye.